Is doing that. Alright, hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. There we go. Wait, F? No, there ain't no F. I just had to, like, Streamlabs is being weird sometimes. Where, like, it doesn't want to, it wants to say that, hey, you can't broadcast, or some shit like that, and then it will do it anyway, but it won't show, like, the time, or the audience, or anything like that. And I also can't stop the stream either, so I have to, like, restart my phone really quick, and basically go back to the active stream. That's kind of what happened with the other night, when I was doing my morning stream, and then I had, like, a little quick mini lunch break for a minute. You know, like, I think on Friday. So that's why that happened then, because Streamlabs wants to be weird sometimes. I'm also in a new angle, but we're not using this angle. We're going back over here. We're going back to our usual angle. There we go. Dude, tonight was weird, bro. Dude, like, as soon as, like, I ended the stream, dude, the night got fucking weird as fuck. I'm not even gonna lie, man. It was strange. I don't even know where to necessarily start, so you'll have to forgive me and at least, you know, get a bowl in first really quick and kind of, like, collect my thoughts because, dude, tonight was strange. It really was. Like, it was packed as fuck when I first got there, and then it died out besides, like, the core, like, you know, late night audience that's there. And then when I left, or at least I was on my way of leaving, dude, oh my god. I'll have to explain it. Collect all your thoughts. I need to collect my thoughts. That's true. Because, dude, tonight, like I said, man, was a little strange. Like, once I wrapped shit up, dude, like, things kind of got a little spicy. Not in a bad way, but also not in a good way either. Just in a unfortunate way that, you know, I feel like, you know, if people just, like, you know, were more moderate with their drinking, probably would have been okay. It honestly makes me feel better about my drinking at bars, because I feel like sometimes I can get a little excessive, but, I mean, considering that I basically drink, like, 3 whiskey cokes a night at the bar, you know, when I'm doing karaoke, it makes me feel better, because, dude, there were some motherfuckers who were sloshed, like, gone. It's just fucking gone, dude. I get excessive myself, so can I. Honestly, like, that's why I watch myself these days, because I've had too many times in the past where I've gotten too excessive and too liberal with my drinking, and I fucked myself over. Like, and mentally I end up being horrible and all this other shit. Like, it's just not good. It's just not a good vibe, man, you know? So, I watch myself. I keep myself limited to, like, you know, 3, at most, like, 4 whiskey cokes at the bar when it comes to karaoke. And when it comes to, like, you know, doing my late night streams, if I want a little, like, you know, tall boy, I keep myself minimum, or at least, well, maximum, you know, 3 of these bad boys. Maximum. I keep it usually 1 or 2. Because honestly, beyond that, shit gets a little funky, and I don't like it. I mean, I've had too many times in the past where it ain't fun. So I moderate myself. I mean, you could be a drinker and be moderate. I mean, because that's totally possible. I mean, it's just like, holy shit. It's like, motherfuckers don't know how to moderate themselves sometimes. And it's like, and I don't necessarily feel bad about that, but I feel bad at the fact that cops tonight were on high alert. Dude, I swear, every 10 minutes there's a fucking cop, you know, driving by the fucking bar and driving down the road. Like, dude, there was a cop, like, every fucking 10 minutes. Like, dude, cops were on patrol tonight. And, like, anyway, here, let me collect my thoughts a little bit, because I'll have to explain at the, you know, to the beginning of when shit got a little weird. Because it happened right after I ended my stream. So, here, let me get my bowl ready to go and stuff. They're probably going to be high alert until after New Year's. Oh, absolutely. I was even telling people that. It's like, look, please stay safe, guys, because, like, I mean, cops are going to be on high alert, you know, because of the holidays. So, like, you know, if you're getting a little excessive, just please make sure that you all are aware of that and, you know, keep yourselves, you know, like, physically, or at least as best you can, moderated so cops don't stop you. I want people to stay safe. We all want to have fun. We all want to get a little tipsy and fun and drunk and silly, you know, fucking drunk as shit. I get it. It's totally fine. Let's just all get home safe and make sure those fucking pigs don't annoy us and fuck our night up. Because, you know, if anyone's fucking our night up, it's ourselves. Like, that's how I feel it. Yeah, that's how I feel about the situation. If anyone's fucking our night up, it's gonna be ourselves because we drank too much and we regret it. Like, I don't want no cop or, like, you know, a friend or anything like that, you know, fucking shit up, you know, because someone got a little too drunk. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I want people to stay safe, you know, and you know, like, on top of, you know, drinking to the heart's content, you know what I mean? I mean, there was some people doing cocaine, you know, at the bar tonight. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. Let them have their fun, you know? They weren't bothering no one, and if anything, funnily enough, the cocaine snorters were actually being a lot more chill than the hella drunk motherfuckers. So, I mean, you know, at least that's, you know, from tonight. Like I said, tonight was a little weird. Like, you know, the audience is pretty cool, but as soon as, like, you know, the last call of karaoke happened, that's when shit took a weird turn. I don't know why, but I think people just got a little too lit, you know what I mean? I think that's just what happened. I think, you know, a lot of people just straight up, you know, got a little too lit. Too lit for their own good. Where's my Toka Poker? I want to make sure I have it. I had it earlier. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Cool. Any hint of drunkenness gets you shoved in a drunk tank. That's bullshit. Unless you're causing a problem or a scene to other people, then that's the only excuse I think, you know, that should be allowed for a drunk tank. And the thing is, you want to know my philosophy on the idea of the quote-unquote drunk tank when it comes to policing on that issue? Here's my philosophy about that. I think having a small little, like, $50 fine, you know, because, like, you're being a delinquent and being dumb that night, and having to, like, you know, spend the night in the drunk tank, and then you're released the next day, and then you have to, like, have a date to show up to court and be like, yeah, I fucked up, you know, can I please have my fine not be so bad or something, you know, like, whatever the fuck. I mean, that is about, honestly, as far as I think it should be. Unless you're, like, exceptionally, you know, fucking drunk and actually genuinely being a harm to other people, then I think that's how it should be. Like, if you happen to be a little silly drunk, being a little loud, or a little rambunctious, and, you know, unintentionally starting a fight with your friend because you're a dumb drunk, you know, for the night or some shit, like, that doesn't deserve, you know, fucking, like, felony bullshit and this and that. Just have, like, a fucking $50 ticket, you know, a night in the drunk tank, think about what you did, you know, think about your regrets for the night, and then when you wake up the next morning, you're gonna feel like shit, but you know what? At least you ain't got a fucking felony, right? Like, you got a $50 ticket, and you had to spend the night in drunk tank at the police station. It's gonna suck, but hey, it's better than how we do it now, right? Because my dad growing up, my dad had this fucking shit. Like, when he was underage, even when he was drinking, you know, with his homies and shit, he would prefer to go to the drunk tank, because if he went home, because the cops escorted him back home to where the parents would confront him immediately, he hated that. He preferred to go to the fucking drunk tank. Like, back in the day, that was a fucking thing, and if anything, weirdly enough, it was actually a safer bet than going back to your parents if you happen to be a high schooler doing that underage, back in the day, and during the 70s and 80s. At least from my dad's experience. I mean, honestly, I prefer that. I'd rather, like, you know, that be a norm, you know, for police enforcement when it comes to, like, you know, some delinquent or maybe some underage, you know, 19-year-old or whatever the fuck, or some senior in high school. I think that's a better fucking solution, you know, for punishment in comparison to, like, you know, just, like, you know, throwing the book at them. You know what I mean? Because, like, dude, in Europe, in so many different countries, the legal age for drinking is 16. And over here in America, it's 21. So why in the fuck are we looking at, like, 18 or 19-year-olds like they're the fucking, like, you know, mafia, basically, when it comes to having a beer or some shit? I mean, I think it should definitely be a lot more loose. It's like, hey, you can vote for one fool or another, but you can't buy a beer. You know, it's like you can go to war and shoot somebody else up real good, but you can't buy a beer. You can get PTSD, you know, after serving your time of war, but you can't buy a beer. It's like, you know, honestly, I do agree that's bullshit, and if there's, you know, something that I advocate for is an 18 and over drinking age. Because, you know, if we can vote for some dumb fuck or another, if we can send some, you know, teenage boys off to war and shit at the age of 18, then they have every goddamn right to buy a beer. To buy some fucking liquor. It's an 18-year-old's right to fucking have that shit if they're going to be able to, you know, have that as an opportunity. Send them off to the USMC, send them to the Army, or, you know, like, or whatever the fuck, you know, let them have the option to vote. It's like, if that's the case, then let them have a goddamn beer. I mean, most of the fucking, you know, world, especially in Europe, does it like that. I mean, a lot of countries in Europe have it to where, you know, you can be 15 years old in Belgium. In Belgium, it's 15 years old where you can go to a bar and have a beer. So it's like, I mean, we're fucking puritanistic as fuck here, and it's stupid. And the thing is, even despite that, it's like, hey, I can understand maybe like a softer approach of that puritanism. Like I said, the drunk tank, the $50 fine or some shit, and that's all you have to do. And after that, it's all cleared. You don't have to worry about it. It doesn't fucking affect your, you know, your record, you know, with the judicial system or whatever the fuck. I mean, like, I think that's how it literally is maximum as far as it should go. Unless, like, you're an actual fucking harm to other people, like you're drinking and driving or something like that. At that point, then throw the fucking book at your ass. If you're drinking and driving, then the book should be thrown at you and you should get the maximum penalty. As it stands concurrently when it comes to punishments with that. Like, I have a line in the sand with that, by the way. I mean, don't, you know, misconstrue what I'm saying here. Because if you're, like, you know, drinking and walking home, like with me and my dog or something like that after the bar, I don't think it's a big deal. But if you're driving and doing that shit, that's a whole nother ball game. So, it's like, that's a whole nother fucking context right there. And anyone doing that shit deserves to have the fucking book thrown at them. If they're walking home, that isn't really a big deal to me. And in fact, honestly, I think that's preferable. If, like, you know that your car is going to be at the bar and you're close enough to home where you can walk it and huff it a little bit, then fucking walk home. Like, walk the fuck home, and when you wake up in the morning, you know, after your weird little hangover or whatever the fuck, then go walk back to the bar, pick your car up, and drive it home. There you go. When you're sober. I mean, that's the responsible fucking decision right there. But the best responsible decision is just know your limit. Like, know what your drink limit is. Like, know what, you know, is too sloshy for you. And know when, like, it's a good buzz for you to where you can still function but not be fucking sloshed out of your mind. We could compare some people driving it. Let's not pretend otherwise. Absolutely. No, 100%. I'm not going to disagree with you. I'd argue that there are definitely some people that actually perform better with weed. You know, having a bowl, you know, before they start driving. But at the same time, there's plenty of people that I think should not even do that before they start driving. Honestly, when it comes to weed, like, I'm a little bit more mixed about that. Like, I do think, you know, some people, honestly, unironically, probably perform a little better having a bowl or two, you know, while driving, whilst plenty of other people are probably way fucking worse about it. Because at least in my experience, I've had people that, you know, been, yes, a little high, you know, might hotbox the vehicle a little bit, but then we'll drive around, and honestly, they're totally fine. They're operating like they would be sober, right? So it's like, I mean, it depends on the person, at least for me, on that situation. But that's why I think, you know, at least when it comes to DUI laws, when it comes to marijuana, I think it's okay. Because, I mean, you know, if someone's overtly under the influence and cannot handle their shit, then yeah, I mean, they deserve to be a little punished and realize that maybe they shouldn't be doing that shit. But for people that can handle their shit, they can handle their shit. It should be fine. At least that's the whole idea, right? So it's like, as long as they can handle their shit, that's all I care about. It's like, can people handle their shit? Whether it's a drink, weed, whatever the fuck it is. Like, can they handle their shit? Because there's plenty of people that can handle their fucking drug of choice and be totally functional, you know, people in society. But there are also a lot of people that aren't. So it's like, it's just a matter of, like, can they function and be totally fine? You know, and, like, that's really about it for me. Like, as long as they know their fucking limits and, you know, have, like, a responsible element to, like, their drug of choice and shit, I don't give a fuck. Because, like I said, there's people at my bar of choice that fucking do cocaine there. I mean, I've even done it before. It's not my personal drug of choice. I don't care for it. I did it once and realized it's not my thing at all. Like, it just isn't. Like, it made me feel like I just had coffee, but my nose was really extra runny, but only on one nostril. So it kind of sucked a little bit, while just being, like, caffeinated, basically. Like, it just, I don't know, it just didn't really do anything for me. So it's like, I mean, I respect, you know, the fact that other people do it, whatever the fuck, I don't give a shit, but it ain't my thing. Probably want to do it again. I mean, even if I did, it'd probably just be like another one-off type of situation. But either way, it's just definitely not my thing. Doesn't do anything for me. See both sides of that. I know some folks who calm down, have smoking, drive better, and people freak the fuck out and drive worse. Same here. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying with, like, you know, as long as people understand, like, you know, hey, like, if I smoke weed, I'm not good, you know, when it comes to certain, you know, shit. You know, and hey, you know, a lot of people can handle their shit. Like, I'll smoke hella bowls, you know, like, on my break time at work. And when I go back, honestly, to some extent, I would argue that I kind of perform better, you know, a little stoned. I mean, because honestly, like, there's a lot of aspects about my work that are very laborious, intensive, and I have to, like, bend down, fucking, you know, lift a lot of, you know, shit and stuff, and honestly, having weed kind of helps, like, loosen, you know, some of the fucking, you know, like, my back especially, and stuff like that, you know, it honestly legitimately helps. So it's like, arguably, like, you know, sometimes, you know, someone being just a little high every now and then might honestly make, you know, them perform better at work. Again, it depends on what their drug of choice is. Some drugs, you know, they're just gonna be zonked out of their fucking mind. But, like, if it's, like, weed, or honestly, arguably, even, like, a beer on lunch break, like, I mean, this is kind of a hot take, you know, for a lot of people, but this is one of my takes. I think, you know, it's alright. Because, at least for certain work industries, it has been acceptable in times past. Or it's like, at least during lunch break, you know, if you want to have a beer, like a singular beer, you know, like, some workplaces will let you have that type of shit. Like, I mean, at least back in the day, obviously not anymore, but I argue, especially for things like grocery stores, or, like, you know, certain, like, you know, retail work, or, like, restaurant work and stuff like that, I think, you know, it should be okay to have, like, a beer or whatever the hell. Like, I mean, because honestly, like, I perform to people who used to be, you know, co-workers of mine and shit in the times past, over the 8 years I've been working in retail at a grocery store. And yeah, guess what? There would be a dude every now and then I used to work with that would have a beer and shit, you know, for work and stuff. And guess what? They performed just as well, you know, with it or without it. I mean, it didn't really matter one way or the other. So I didn't give a fuck. Who cares? Like, hey, they performed just as well with it or without it, so whatever. I mean, I literally don't care. If they want to, then, you know, then that's okay. I mean, as long as they perform their job and it's all good, then that's fine with me. And guess what? Those people that did do that, they performed the job just as well as they did without it. So I didn't care. I couldn't give a fuck. Because, like I said, there's honestly, like, you know, because there's plenty of people that smoke weed, you know, at work, especially when it comes to retail jobs. And honestly, especially with grocery store work or retail work across the board, regardless of, you know, whether you're like deli, you know, a checkout, you know, like checker or some shit, or like, you know, floral, meat counter, wherever the fuck you lie on retail work, I absolutely fucking guarantee you, there's at least, like, you know, 99% of motherfuckers doing some sort of a drug. I'm just gonna be honest, man. Like, because at least at my store, here's, like, the big drugs of choices: Xanax, weed, and, what was the other one? Adderall, I think. I think it's, like, you know, those, you know, 3. Because some people have ADHD, so Adderall's their drug of choice, and some of them kind of take it a little more over-the-counter wise, so to speak, wink wink type of stuff. Some people do Xannies, and some people smoke hella fucking weed. Some people will do a combination of shit like that, and guess what? They still perform the job just like they would any other motherfucker, so whatever. I literally couldn't care. Don't mix that shit. Yeah, from what I understand, people don't mix it. I mean, what they will mix is, like, Adderall, maybe weed, or Xanax and weed. Like, that's where the mix happens, but that's basically about it. Like, I haven't heard of anyone actually mixing Addies and Xannies together. I know people that will take, you know, Xannies or Addies, one or the other, but not both. I mean, I'm sure there probably are people that do, but I'm not aware of it. And to be fair, I mean, because I'm not aware of certain things when it comes to, like, you know, drugs of choices, so to speak, you know, for people at work, I'm sure there's other drugs that people do at my workplace. I'm sure that, like, you know, other type of shit, you know, is more, you know, like I'm sure, like, you know, meth or some other stuff is probably, like, a drug of choice for some people. They just don't do it at the workplace, or they don't really make it known, or they keep it really hardcore on the DL. You know, it's like, I don't know. I mean, but I'm just, like I said, because I'm just talking from my own personal experience from the people I do know. Like, I mean, I'm sure there are some people that delve into some heavy shit, but considering the gossip that happens at my workplace, I mean, I think I would have heard of it by now, you know what I mean? So I don't think anyone's doing that type of shit. I'm just, you know, knowing from what I hear from, like, the scuttlebutt, basically. And scuttlebutt is basically Xannies, Addies, or weed. And it's usually a combination of one of those. Your take on that Vosh video? Oh, the one about the retail worker stuff? I actually know what we were talking about because I've seen that video. I've seen that video that you're talking about before. But, yeah, I didn't react to it on stream yet, so, yeah, let's do it. Because it is kind of tangential to what we're talking about anyway. It is retail work and stuff like that, so, I mean, that, you know, hence we're talking about it, right? A cashier, talking to your Trader Joe's cashier is a good thing, which I do think is agreeable. And you honestly replace Trader Joe's cashier with just, like, your grocery store cashier. Because, look, I'm just going to be honest, what makes our day as a retail worker is if somebody as a customer is actually friendly and, you know, is actually being nice to us. Like, you know, that shit actually means a lot to us, like, genuinely. Like, you know, being like, hey, how's it going, man? Is your day doing good? Right on, you know, it's like, got any plans for tonight, or, like, you know, any, like, holiday plans, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, as much as the small talk can be annoying, shit like that, as much as you might not realize it, genuinely means a lot to us. I mean, honestly. I mean, that's just, you know, my opinion. I mean, you know, because honestly, you know, for the customers that do actually kind of seem like they give a fuck about us as a human being, I tend to, you know, like, respect them way more in comparison to people that are just like, can I just have this? Thanks, bye. You know, or very blunt, or, you know, and at times can even be rude, you know? It's like, I mean, you know, I'm gonna have my leanings on people that I definitely generally like. Yes, I have a Christmas sweater. Oh, Rose, you're the first one to notice. Yes, I have a Christmas sweater. It's my Karl Marx sweater, dude. All I want for Christmas is the means of production, baby. That's right. You want to know where I bought this? Guess where I bought it. I'm not even going to say it yet. Just guess. Just guess where I bought it. Because it will shock you. I'm not even kidding. It will actually shock you. Because it wasn't from a retail chain. I'm going to tell you right off the bat. It was online. I'll say that much. It was online. I bought it online, but where? Because honestly, you're not going to guess where. You literally will not be able to guess. I'm all for being nice as shit, but infinitely knows me where I can't find what I'm looking for. I mean, that's understandable. And look, I mean, some workers generally just don't know where things might be, and don't fault them for that. I mean, because guess what? When someone's hired at a workplace, they're literally, especially when it comes to retail work at a grocery store, they're thrown to the wolves. Literally. Like, once they're hired, they literally just have to, like, you know, figure it the fuck out themselves, you know, over time. Where it's like, yeah, it's, you know, it's like, here's how you basically do the basic foundations of your job. All the details about our store and knowing how to, you know, like, logistically, you know, figure out our store and stuff like that. Go fuck yourself. Figure it out yourself, bitch. Like, that's basically how it is. It's like, you have to figure it out yourself. So it's like, I mean, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, you can't really fault the worker for it inherently. I mean, if they don't know where something is, then they don't. But, hey, I mean, if they give you their best guess, then they might, at the end of the day, they might genuinely be a little closer to where, you know, to what you're trying to find than you figuring it out. So, at the end of the day, I mean, hey, I mean, at least, you know, try to take their word for what it is. I mean, even if they generally don't know, because, I mean, look, there's stuff that I generally don't know, you know, where things are. And half the time as well is because that sometimes, you know, the logistics of where things are moving around. So sometimes I'll realize that, like, you know, where something used to be isn't there anymore because they moved it to somewhere else. And now I have to look like a fucking idiot with a, you know, like my chicken with a head cut off and run around like a moron figuring out where the fuck it is. It's like, I mean, even though in the past it used to be in this location, but now it ain't there because they moved it somewhere where the fuck I know because someone told me where it was. It's like, so, I mean, sometimes it's shit like that. Or it's like, oh yeah, I know where it is. I guess it ain't here no more. I don't know where the fuck they put it. I look like a fucking retard right now, don't I? It's like, because I do. It's like, fuck. I mean, it's like, here's my biggest pet peeve when it comes to retail work. Communication. Like, it never happens at all. And you know what? That shit happens on the corporate level, too. Like, there are, like, certain sectors of, like, the corporate wing of things when it comes to, like, you know, health inspections or, like, you know, safety inspections, or when it comes to, like, corporate, like, executive fuckers and shit. Like, they all have their own weird things that they don't even communicate with each other on shit. So when shit gets, you know, passed down to us between those motherfuckers, like, you know, sometimes we get contradictory information. And when one of them does a walkthrough and says, oh, you could do this, you know, because, you know, then it'll be like, well, the other day, these motherfuckers, you know, these dudes said otherwise. So, like, which is it? Can I do it or can I not? Like, what the fuck? And shit like that. It's like, there's just, like, literally no communication at all on any level of the fucking structure and the corporate level when it comes to, like, Safeway at all. And until I was banned on fucking Reddit, like, I mean, when I was checking out the Safeway subreddit, oh my fucking god, I could not even explain how much this shit, like, translated across the board. There are people that will be, like, in Northern California, in Washington, in, like, Idaho, in, like, all these other states and shit, where they're saying the exact same fucking shit that I bitch about, and sometimes it's literally worse. It's literally fucking worse than what I have to deal with, and it's like, holy shit. And this is recent stuff, too. I mean, it's been bad for a while, but with how egregious it's been, it is exceptional, dude. I had to close the fucking deli by myself tonight, because, like, you know, one of my closest are sick. I don't blame them. But I blame fucking corporate for not getting some motherfucker to help, you know, be a placeholder for me to help out or some shit. I had to deal with it by myself after 6 o'clock. When I did my little lunch stream, after that, guess what? All by myself, having to deal with everything. Closing the front, closing the back, getting everything done. I had to do fucking everything tonight. It's like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, why do I have to deal with this shit? I had to do it every fucking time. It's me that has to deal with shit every motherfucking time. And what appreciation do I get? Fucking nothing. Nothing. In fact, I'm probably gonna get bitched at because I was like 2 minutes over from being on the 15-minute, like, you know, leeway for being late or some shit. I'm probably gonna get bitched at it and get written up for that instead. You know, it's just like, I mean, and, you know, even though I literally had to break my fucking back tonight to make sure that that deli looked good for closing up. And that's going to be what I get for fucking, you know, a little thank you. It's probably getting written up for it. I don't know if I am, but I knowing that I was at least, you know, a little over, you know, on that leeway that they give for, you know, when it comes to, you know, being late and shit, like, I mean, they did it last time. When I got written up for being late, it was literally because I was 2 minutes over on that fucking shit. And it reminded me that fucking time, and it's like, I know I'm going to get it again. I'll just tell them, it's like, look, last time it's because one of, you know, that, you know, close that I was supposed to have on Saturday, you know, when I, you know, came in a little late, she went home early, and I had to fucking, you know, pitch in the bill and be the only one closing everything else, you know, because Ricky, you know, I said the same, I didn't mean to, whatever, like, because, my other closer didn't fucking, you know, do everything on the front, like, I mean, he honestly kind of slacks on some shit. And it's like, and then tonight, I'm closing by myself after 6. It's like, what the fuck do you think I am, Superman? It's like, I mean, God cut me a little slack here. I mean, it's like, I mean, I'm only one person, and even, like, especially when I'm the only fucking one actually doing shit at that department. Like, I mean, because at a certain point, it's like, if they really think that, like, you know, writing me up enough to the point where they might fucking terminate me, you know, or some shit, if they really think that's a good fucking idea, then they're stupid. I mean, eventually I'm gone anyway. I'm gonna be gone by fucking next year, especially with how they fucking do this shit. You know, if this is how they're really fucking... If they're being this fucking callous... I mean, they've been callous before, but if they're being this callous about it, then I'm gonna fucking ensure that that department is 90% gone. You know, when I fucking go to new seasons. Because when that opens up, I'm getting every motherfucker in that department and applying them over there. They were gonna unionize that fucking workplace and make it fucking goddamn worth a shit and get not only paid more, but probably get better benefits and everything else besides. So it's like, I mean, I got a fucking game plan already. It's like, I mean, it's only a matter of time. If they really think they're gonna be doing this shit, you know, the way they are, and it's like, they got another thing coming. That department is fucked. That store is fucked, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if that fucking store closes out. Because, like, I mean, by next year, there's going to be a goddamn exodus. There absolutely is going to be. Especially with how corporate treats everybody. If they really think they're going to be able to keep it up the way they have been for this fucking long, for all these goddamn years, oh, hell fuck no. Because, like I said, all I want for Christmas is means of production, baby. You know what? If they ain't giving me for this Christmas, then I'm going to make sure it happens for next Christmas. You are who you choose to be, the Iron Giant. True. Or corporate closes and said new store, because I've seen that happen. Well, my Safeway that I work at has been there for a long time. It's been there since 2008. It's been there for a long fucking time. So, I mean, I don't really think that store is going anywhere anytime soon. Well, I mean, maybe. It's been there for a while, so, I mean, who knows? I've seen Dollar General's unionized and mysteriously closed 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later. Man, fuck Dollar General. Yeah, fuck Dollar General. And the thing is, at least with new seasons, that isn't, you know, going to be the case, because there are multiple new seasons in Portland that have unionized recently and have been very successful and are not closed. Like, the New Seasons Labor Union is, you know, something that's been very successful and has been able to solidify and hold its unionized workplaces. So, I'm not exactly really worried about that. Here, let me pull this clip up and then take a pee off.
Can we do a bit of cultural
Shut the fuck up, Vosh, and stop irritating people. Yeah, I'll be right back. Take a pants, and then we'll watch this clip. Oh my goodness, look at you, baby. You stretchy boy, oh my goodness. Don't be... You just sneezed in my mouth. You sneezed in my mouth, you little jerk. Quit wagging that tail. Oh my god, you're so proud that you just did that. You son of a bitch. Oh my lord, you little freak. Here, let me take that vest off you. You don't need that vest on no more. But damn you for sneezing in my mouth. Don't do that again. Oh, you big drum. You bongo drum. You're nothing more than a bongo drum. Oh, come on. Come on, you goof. Oh, my lord, you little Speedy McGeezax. Don't fall. Fucking fucking hell! What the fuck? Shut up! Why? Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut up! Silence! Why? Why? What are you doing that for? Fuck! Shut up! What is your deal, bro? Excuse me? What is your deal? What the fuck? What's the fuck? Are we good? Are we Gucci? Damn! And it fell. God damn it. Damn! The fuck, bruh? The fuck? Jesus. Fucking going nuts over there. God damn. Give him some Ritalin. That should shut him up. I ain't giving this dog no goddamn drug. What the fuck is wrong with you, son of a bitch? I ain't doing no animal abuse, you fucking savage. The hell's wrong with you? If this dog is getting anything, it's getting like CBD or something like that. So fucking like, you know, CBD doggo treats. Because those are a thing. You know, I mean, CBD is safe for doggos. THC is not safe for doggos. But CBD is okay. So there are CBD doggo treats that do exist that you can get. And are good for doggos. I just see how he reacts to one of those, honestly. I'm pretty sure he's going to hate it because he does not like weed. Unironically, I've tried to, like, see if he would eat a bud of weed, and he just hates it. He's like, like, he kind of repulsively reacts to it, so he doesn't like it at all. So he's not a stoner dog. I mean, as much as he kind of is a little bit, he really ain't. He doesn't even like beer. I've actually, unironically, I know it's not something you really should do, but, like, I've tried to see if he wants to have a sip of beer. He doesn't even want that. I know people have said that, I know people in the past will be like, oh yeah, I've given my dog beer, blah, 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 and, you know, and whatever the fuck, yeah, but, like, he hates it. He don't like it. Like, my dog is straight edge and puritanistic when it comes to substances. He just wants dog food, water, scritches, and loves. Like, he doesn't want anything else. You know what? Good, honestly. I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, dog on him for that. I mean, if anything, that's good. Because if he was into that shit, then he would probably get into my weed, try to sneak my drinks, and it's like, nope, I don't want that. But luckily, it ain't about that. So, I like it. It's good shit. Okay. Okay. Shut up, Vosh. Even though we're gonna look at you, Vosh, I mean, you know. It's not one full screen. Okay, hold on. Come on, full screen, yo ass. I may have knifed a kid in second grade with a pencil threw his hand on a wait, what the hell? Wait, what? Okay. That sounds even worse than what I did, you know, than what I threatened to do in freshman year during study hall. Y'all want to know that story? Because it's actually kind of honestly horrible. Like, I mean, look, for context sake, there was like this black kid, like, during elementary school, middle school, and high school that would bully me. And, like, his ass would straight up, like, do pretty much, like, he knew how to fucking push my buttons. Let's just put it that way. He knew, like, what buttons to push, and would push them immensely. In fact, he threatened to, like, you know, say, like, oh, I'll bring a shotgun to school and blast your ass and shit. Like, he literally threatened that to me once before. So it's like, this kid was honestly a piece of shit. Fuck him. Like, I mean, I still don't really have remorse for him, and, you know, he can go fuck himself. I don't really give a fuck, you know, what his ass is doing at this point, as long as he's rotting in jail cell for all I give a fuck. Fuck him. Like, when it comes to this individual, I could give a fuck about him. But, like, I mean, cause especially considering, you know, the stuff that he's done in the past and has not been remorseful, you know, from that shit. Because there's been a few times I've seen him after high school and he's still like, hey, what's up, bitch, and whatever. So it's like, you know, fuck him. I really, you know, don't have any empathy for him. where you don't want supposed to threaten. Well, the thing is, like, this happened during like a study hall class when he well, there's two different instances. The one that I want to bring up, I'm gonna put a pin on really quick, but the other one I'm talking about, when it came to the whole like he wants to bring a shotgun or whatever the hell, to school and stuff, like when he threatened that was in the middle of like some other study hall class that we had, and when he said that, I'm like, this is also during when Sandy Hook happened, when the Clackamas Mall shooting happened, not even a fucking year ago, because this is something that, gets brushed under the rug, but this happened in my fucking hometown, like in my home, like right around the corner from me, basically. Clackamas Mall got a fucking shooting, and that guy, I have a family friend who used to know this person and was friends with them back in high school. When he was in Milwaukee High, where I went to. So it's like this guy was like somebody that that when he did the shooting was like someone that was kind of known in the community a little bit. Like I indirectly kind of had knowledge about this guy, when shit came out about, oh, this is the guy who did it, because of one of my friends, one of my family friends who I'm still kind of connected to and shit. So it's like, it was a fucking freaky, like, holy shit moment, So it's like, this idea of like, when it comes to shootings and shit was very fresh in my mind. It's a very real fucking thing in my head, especially as a high schooler. Like, you think, high schoolers and middle schoolers and elementary, you think kids now had it bad? When Clackamas Mall shooting happened, when we, like, a lot of us, including me, would go there on our pastime to go see a movie, maybe go to Jamba Juice or something like that, or whatever the fuck, it's like, that was our spot, like, where we go for pastime and shit. So it's like, for something like that to happen so fucking close to us was fresh in our minds at that time. And for me, I was like, for this motherfucker to really say shit like that, I yelled in that fucking classroom, like, fucking excuse me, you are saying that you want to fucking bring... I overtly described yelling this shit in the whole room. Honestly, I hope motherfuckers in other classrooms and in the hall were hearing me yelling. It's like, you think you're bringing a gun to fucking blast my ass and you wouldn't give a fuck it's okay when there are shootings, like in the fucking mall that happened, a year ago and shit, and Sandy Hook and all this other shit. You think that's fucking okay to just yell out and fucking say to my face and shit and yelling this stuff, and there's two teachers that immediately came into, address and calm the situation down by having him, get away from me, and I go sit outside a little bit with the other teacher, like, empathizing it to the point where she was crying, being like, look, you are absolutely correct, like, what, you were saying, what he was saying, shit's horrible, and, it's like, and it makes me scared to know that, like, that is a possible reality, and blah, 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 and we kind of hugged it out a little bit and shit. I never got in trouble, by the way, so it's like, I mean, I think it was obvious of, like, despite my outbursts, it was absolutely justified, and it was. Because, like, this shit was, like, fresh in our minds. Like, the Clackamas Mall shooting happened, like, a fucking year ago when he was saying this shit. Like, that happened in 2012. Like, by the time he was saying that shit, it was, like, 2013. Maybe at most, like, 2014. Hey! So it's like, I mean, when he was saying shit like that, when it comes to, how fresh, that whole thing is in our minds, like, I ain't gonna fucking let shit like that slide. I still won't. Considering how America's fucked when it comes to things like shootings, we don't seem to ever actually fix the problem. So, like, I mean, I still hold to that. Here, doing that will get you suspended or expelled because no tolerance policy has got to punish both parties, or it looks like schools taking sides and that's bad somehow. And that's bullshit. Because the thing is, there's obvious, circumstances, like with my experience, where there's obviously someone who's in the right and who's somebody who's in the wrong. And, and like I said, for my circumstance, if I'm talking about, I obviously was in the right. Obviously, I was being disruptive and shit like that. But good fucking reason, though. Like, this kid's trying to bully me and threaten to fucking shoot me at school and stuff like that at the time. It's like, you're like, you're absolutely justified screaming that you know, for everyone else in the fucking class, including on the other classroom across the fucking hallway, and then some. Like, the whole school should be hearing you. Like, you should be yelling that shit for the entire fucking, you know, school to hear your ass. So everyone understands, you know, what the fuck that kid's saying. So that kid gets fucking, you know, blared out and embarrassed and, you know, fucking called out for that fucking shit. There should be a no tolerance policy for something like that. I got suspended for foul language after school had let out. Just be glad you're moving to New Mexico, dude. Alabama's a shithole. Alabama is a garbage fucking shithole and really should be a federalized district. Fuck it, being a state. Like, ugh. Dad had to come and get me because the principal made me miss the bus. I called him a F-slur straight to his face on the way out. Nice. Nice. Oh, too bad it got you fucking suspended, I guess. Because, like, in middle school, I was called a faggot all the fucking time and shit, and no one ever punched those kids. Ever. But whenever I reacted, I would get punched a little bit. Middle school was way worse than high school. So, yeah. Especially 7th grade, that was way worse. I got fucking, like, punched as shit for literally being, like, you know, like, at the point, you know, at least at that time, like, a little suicidal and shit. It's like, I was literally punished with, like, oh, hey, you need to probably be in a suit or something. I'm like, what? Instead of, like, you know, maybe, you know, looking at the bullies doing this shit, like, you're gonna look at my ass. It's like, fuck you. It's like, fuck these motherfuckers. It's like, ugh. Man, 7th grade especially was just shitty. I mean, I'm just glad that I've, like, you know, grown and, like, you know, prospered, you know, since. But, man, 7th grade was fucked. 8th grade was at least kind of laid back. And at least, you know, a lot of the teachers that I had, you know, for middle school and high school especially and stuff, like, they were pretty cool. So, at least I had some escapism. The episode on the way out was the cherry on top. I said fuck, and that's why I got suspended. You got suspended for saying fuck, not... Why am I not surprised? You didn't get suspended for saying faggot, you got suspended for saying fuck. Only in the South, dude. Only in the fucking South where you will get suspended for saying fuck but not faggot. Oh my god. Only in the fucking South like goddamn Alabama would you get suspended for that. Oh my god. Oh. Wow, dude. Oh my god. I said think fuck school's out on school grounds waiting for the bus. You know, man, you could have sued for freedom of speech, baby, because like that's your dude. Dude. That's your opinion. It's like, hey, think fuck school's out on school grounds because you're waiting for the bus. It's like, hey, think fuck school's out. Just wait for the bus. Hell yeah. Like fuck these puritanical shitbags who are against fucking freedom of speech. These motherfuckers, these barbarian savage piece of shit. Authoritarianistic fascist fucks. Ugh. Gross. Can we just make Alabama a district? The District of Alabama. The DA, dude. District of Alabama, baby. Arab has zero tolerance policy for foul language. How about we make Arab a fucking, like, you know, federalized city-state and they have no laws that they, you know, can adhere to unless it's, you know, based on federal law. How about that? So, you know, hey, that's zero tolerance of foul language. Fuck you, Constitution, bitch. First Amendment, baby. Go fuck yourself. How about that? Oh, I'm supposed to do that. Speak one bad word and they kick you out. Alabama is a goddamn shithole. Like, dude. You're really making me want to say some extra shit, bro. Like, I want to treat it like goddamn fucking Vietnam like it's 1971, baby. I want to make it like Laos in 1971, baby. Let's go, dude. Like, holy shit. Holy fuck. I am insulted at the idea that Alabama is a fucking state in the Union of America, baby. Like, I am fucking insulted at that idea. I'm insulted. I'm insulted that Idaho is a fucking state. I'm insulted that there are so many of these fucking states in our goddamn fucking proud union that, you know, that just exist. Florida, Texas, Alabama, Idaho, Mississippi. You know, these fucking pathetic excuses for fucking states, man. Can we just start federalizing certain states, make them territories again? Because they would have way better progress and way better outcomes, you know, being that versus what the fuck they are right now. Especially Florida, Texas, and Alabama, and pretty much any other fucking state in the Bible Belt. They especially would fucking prosper from that shit. And Idaho, too. They're pretty much the only state in the PNW that fucking sucks a lot of balls, and is pretty much the confederacy of the PNW, so they could go fuck themselves. Fuck Idaho. I have no love for those fucking hillbilly, potato crop, incestual, fucking right-wing Nazi fuckbags. Besides, we harvest potatoes better up here. It's called the Willamette Valley, baby. We're fertile as fuck out here. What do you got, Idaho? Fucking Savannah? Bullshit? The Rockies? Ooh. You grow a lot of shit in that. Meanwhile, fucking Oregon is like a fertile, fucking beautiful, like, Garden of Eden. Oregon is the Garden of Eden, baby. We just got, like, the fertile land out here. We're just, like, we just, like, got the land that's fertile as fuck. Got orchards, you know, that just naturally grow here. Natural fucking agriculture that, you know, just prospers and stuff. Like, dude, like, PNW is, like, got shit on lock. Oregon, Washington, like, I mean, say what you want about these fucking states, but, like, we got shit on lock, honestly, up here. Oregon's a white supremacist state. Look how it started. Yeah, it started that way, but look how it is now. Like, Oregon's, you know, way different now than, you know, than what it used to be back in, like, 1873 or some shit. Like, look, this Oregon still got some fucking neo-Nazi fucks and shit. Yeah. Do they got, like, you know, right-wing chuds? Yes. But hey, so is California. So is Washington. Like, hey, I mean, you know, like, hey, we got flaws up here. You know, I ain't gonna fucking, you know, dog on that shit. But hey, at least we know how to fucking, you know, treat them. Whenever they fucking want to stir some shit up in Portland or whatever, we, you know, kicking them right the fuck out. So it's like, I mean, we know how to fucking treat them. We know how to deal with them. Like, I mean, you know, we ain't really exactly strangers to dealing with fucking neo-Nazi fucks. They know where they live, and they know where they are, and they operate, you know, safely in those places, but not for long. What do you think, Methford and fucking Estacada and all these other places that they, you know, fucking, you know, harbor up in and shit is gonna, you know, stay right-wing forever? Pfft. Considering how Oregon, you know, is, especially, you know, with his progressivism, it's only a matter of time. Yeah, sure, Eastern Oregon, you know, like with Madras or some shit, might still be kind of conservative-leaning, but it's only a matter of time until, like, the Willamette Valley starts to cave. Especially Clark County. Like, honestly, Clark County, the main reason why it's so right-wing as fuck is literally because of Oregon City and Estacada. Like, I mean, there are so many right-wing fucks that live in those fucking towns that it's kind of sad. Like, because honestly, Oregon City's nice. I've been to Oregon City plenty of times. There's some fucking cool shit out there, man. Like, Oregon City's pretty fucking cool. It used to be the capital of Oregon for a time. I mean, and it's a pretty cool historic town. Like, it's pretty dope. But there's genuinely, like, a lot of right-wing fucking dipshits that live out there. And it's like, you know, and they, you know, sometimes they'll, you know, pull their stupid fucking rallies out there and shit. Like, when it comes to right-wing rallies, they kind of like to hold them out in Oregon City and shit, because they can kind of get away with it a little more. Not so much in Portland. Definitely not, you know, out here in Milwaukee or anywhere else, but, like, out in places like OC or Estacada or anywhere else, like, yeah, they could do it pretty willy-nilly and, you know, be fine for the most part. But, like I said, it's only a matter of time, honestly. really think, you know, they're going to be able to, like, you know, stay safe in OC? Fuck no. I mean, OC is, you know, like, it's got an underbelly of, you know, some progressive, you know, cool punk lefty types and shit. That, you know, a lot of them, you know, come up here to Milwaukee, honestly. Like, I you know, at the bar, you know, from what I've noticed, like, outside of, you know, a lot of people that have just, you know, been in my town for a long time, like, there will be a lot of people that will either come from PDX or from OC. So it's like, I mean, a lot of people from OC, you know, to kind of escape the right-wing bullshit will come up here, you know, in a way, you know, and, like, some people in Portland will kind of escape some of the stupid bullshit from up there, you know, to come down here, because, like, Milwaukee's kind of like that little bastion of chill. Like, I mean, our little town's genuinely kind of like a chill little spot. Like, nothing really crazy happens out here. I mean, there's some pretty interesting, crazy shit that happens every now and then, but it's pretty rare. I'll admit, tonight was a little interesting. Did I even, like, mention my story about tonight? I don't even think I did. I had a video, but, you know, before I get into the video, like, let me tell you the story real quick, because, like, once I ended my stream, like, once karaoke was all over with, I went outside, you know, about to leave and shit, and some of the, like, kind of the working class dudes that were all, like, co-workers of each other, one of them got way too drunk and started falling over a lot. Like, within the span of, like, 3 minutes, he fell over, like, 4 times. And, like, one of his buddies was like, yo, you need to shut the fuck up and get the fuck home, bro. And, like, you know, and, like, he kind of hugged him and lifted him up and, like, kind of, like, put him on the sidewalk. It's like, you need to go home, dude. And, like, and the obviously drunk dude who fell over a bunch of times is like, yo, fuck you, bro, shut the fuck up, man. Yeah, and I was like, and I was right next to these dudes, so I was like, yo, look. Because I noticed, you know, I was looking around, because I'm kind of one of the more sober dudes, you know, outside. I was looking around, dude, there was cops on patrol and on high alert that night, man. And I was like, look, hey, I know we're all a little fucked up, but we're all homies still. Let's all just try to get home safe. Cops on high patrol. We don't need no extra bullshit that is unnecessary. You know, and, like, one of the other friends, you know, and, you know, of them, you know, came up and was like, hey, thanks, bro, you know, trying to keep us, you know, trying to keep them a little chill. I'm just like, hey, no problem, bro. I don't like the cops, especially the night crew of Milwaukee PD, because they kind of like to annoy the fuck out of people like me, you know, just trying to, like, walk home, you know, for the night. So it's like, if they're willing to annoy me, minding my own business, you know, not making any noise and shit, then they're gonna definitely stop y'all's asses if you're all being loud and stuff. So, you know, just try to stay safe, you know, get home, and, you know, just keep shit at a minimal. Whatever bullshit y'all gotta deal with, just deal with it at home. You know, it's like, just try to get home. You know, it's like, that was like my main forte. So, but there's like another dude who was like way too fucking lit. Like, the guy was barely able to stand up, and his friend was trying to hold him up, and I was like, hey, look, I mean, I know y'all trying to get home, but stay safe, you know, hold your buddy up, and try to be quiet, because, like, there was going to be cops, you know, driving around, and they're probably going to see you, and if they see you all looking fucked up like you all are, then they're going to stop your ass, and they're going to call back up, and all this other shit. And, of course, you know, when I was talking to that dude who was barely able to be held up by his buddy and shit, like, I was walking back home, that same dude who could barely be held up was passed out, and his buddy was just sitting there on the sidewalk while there was 2 cops waiting for fucking EMS as I was walking by as they were arriving. You know, like, fucking just sitting there. It's like, oh my god. It's like, what the fuck happened tonight? Like, I mean, like, everything was chill up until I ended my stream earlier for karaoke, and as soon as that happened, shit got weird. It's like, what the fuck, dude? It's like, damn, tonight got strange, like, pretty quick. And there was, like, some other person that was, like, you know, being, like, too lit and almost missed their bus, and, like, I almost kind of felt bad, because I was kind of, like, distracting him, too, because I was talking to him for a minute before they, like, missed their bus, and, like, I was like, hey, you know, you'll see me again sometime, I'll talk to you later, blah, 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 as they're, like, running to the bus, being like, thanks, man, you know, and just running away. I was just like, oh my god. Like, tonight was definitely kind of interesting. Like, as soon as the stream ended, like, shit got kind of weird. I kind of wish I kind of kept going and just streamed my walk home, because it was peculiar. It was definitely very peculiar. Definitely one of the more weirder nights, of coming home from karaoke. That I'll admit that. Ooh. But you know what? Still a fun night. I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised, that, at least in hindsight, at least, from what I, remember, like, I didn't really do too bad on my Hispanic song that I did with La Carencia. I mean, everyone else was digging it, so I'm pretty sure I did pretty good. I kind of prefaced it, but like, I don't really know Spanish, but I kind of know this song, so hopefully I'm doing pretty good. But, I think I did alright, so. It's a fun song, though. La Carencia is such a good fucking song. It's so fun. I mean, it really is a fun song to groove to, just like to dance to and shit. I kind of want to listen to it right now, but I'm not going to, because I already had a video I want to look at. And it's a whoosh. It's a whoosh. Because Venom linked this earlier, and I've been meaning to look at this anyway, so. Kind of ties into the whole retail conversation that we were talking about earlier. He bit me back, kitty. You got a kitty kiss? Aww. Hey, if a kitty bites you, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Sometimes a cat might get overstimulated or excited and does that as a playful manner and not really necessarily as like a very aggressive thing. You don't get to realize it may have to come out. Sorry, I don't really know much Mexican, but I hope I sing it's alright. Well, it was my first song, so, I mean, by that point, I mean, I'm usually on my second drink. Like, I usually have, like, one as a warm-up, like, once I get there. And then, write a song in, and then by the time I get my second drink, that's usually when, like, my song pops up. Sometimes, it might be a slow night, so I might be able to get, a song in, before I finish my first drink, but, yeah. I mean, honestly, for me, I keep it limited to, like, 3 or, like I said, like, 4 drinks maximum. Because usually I'll have the one when I get there, before I do a song, and then, like, my second song, when I my third or, my second or third song, usually I'm in my, like, third drink, at that point, so. I kind of know my limit, and I kind of know, like, my routines, to a degree, and depending on how busy it is, I can kind of gauge on, like, how many songs I might be able to do, and on top of that, like, when it comes to, like, how many drinks I might have and stuff, so. Depending, I've been there long enough to where I can kind of gauge it. And also, I just know my limit. Like, I mean, at a certain point, it's like, you could be nice and buzzed, or even nice and hella drunk and stuff, but it's like, you gotta know your limit. You know what? It's like, I'm not at my limit, but, I'm on the vibe. We're having a good vibe. We're having some fun. So, and that's what matters. It's like, as long as you know what your limit is, and you can, kind of still keep a fun little vibe, and keep all, shit all good and stuff, that's what matters. Once you get, like, too excessive and a little too laissez-faire, that's when things can be kind of a problem. Like I was saying from earlier, like, when, once I ended my stream and I was kind of hanging out, a little bit before I went home, like, there was, some people that were certainly way too excessive when it comes to their drinking tonight. One of them even passed out and was on the ground, and it's like, I mean, it's like, man, I was hugging that dude saying, please stay safe and get home safely, and it's like he's not even home, and he's like on the ground, and there's like cops surrounding him and shit. It's like, oh no. And EMS is showing up, to like fucking address his fucking probably minorly alcohol poisoned ass. It's like, oh no. It's like, oh man. I mean, I've been there before, so, like, I mean, that's why I kind of really try to, like, remind people to be safe and responsible to an extent, because I've been there before and I know my limit now. Like, I mean, I try not to exceed on that limit, because if I do, then it just ain't, it's no bueno. Like, if I do go beyond that limit, I just want to at least be in my home. Like, you know, here. You know, like, that's the only time I want to be over my limit, as long as I'm home. Because if I pass out sleeping here, on the floor somewhere in the kitchen or in my room, it don't matter. At least I'm home, you know? But, like, if I'm anywhere else, that's a problem, and that's where everything gets all fucked. So, I mean, yeah, that's I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes of knowing your limit, being responsible, and just, like, make sure you stay safe and responsible. That's all it really comes down to. Call me racist, but Mexican Spanish is fundamentally different from Spanish. That's not racist. I mean, that actually is kind of true. Like, Mexican Spanish versus, like, you know, the Iberian Peninsula, like, you know, Spain, like, Spanish. I mean, yeah, those are two different, you know, dialects of Spanish. So, I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, the song I was singing, you know, of La Carencia, that's a Hispanic Spanish type of song. So, it's Central American, like Latina America, you know, dialect, you know, not Spanish dialect, or Spain Spanish dialect with the Iberian Peninsula. Like, American English is different, British English, yeah. I mean, there is a difference. I mean, it's just a difference of dialect. I mean, it's not a racist thing to say. I mean, that's just a difference of dialect there. I mean, they're the same language, but they have different, like, you know, dialect and etymology for certain words and things like that. That might be a little different, but overall, you know, same language. Like, there's different, like, you know, etymology and certain, like, slang you know, words and shit like that are different from British in comparison to American English. So, I mean, you know, that's not really a racist thing to say. That's just etymology right there. Like, when it comes to, like, you know, dialect and language, I mean, of course there's going to be differences in, like, the same language depending on regionally where it is. I mean, there's different versions of, like, German, for example, like Bavarian German versus, like, you know, Brandenburg German, or, like, you know, Austrian German. When it comes to those languages, like, they're all going to be different dialects, but they're still the same language. So, I mean, and honestly, funny enough, like, certain your regions of Germans might not understand each other. Like, you know, Bavarian German, unironically, might not be able to understand that much from, like, a Berliner, like, you know, Brandenburg German, for example, because the dialects, you know, might be so different. Because, like, you know, Bavarians, you know, might be more, like, rednecky with their, you know, German dialect, while, like, you know, Brandenburger / like, you know, fucking Berliner Germans might have more of, like, the urbanistic, you know, dialect, so to speak. So it's like, I mean, it, you know, like, all languages have, like, different dialects to them. I mean, there's nothing racist about that. It's just kind of like, you know, how it is. I mean, different languages have different dialects. It's just what it is. I mean, hell, American English has different dialects within itself. You got Southern American English, you got PNW English, you got, like, Jersey style English, you know, New York American English, you got, like, Midwestern, Minnesotan style English and shit like that. Like, you got different American dialects and shit even. So, I mean, it's nothing racist about it. It's just fucking, it's just a consequence of just a reality of things, I guess. I mean, just what is. I'll be cold dead in the ground before I recognize the king's English. True. I mean, honestly, yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, I'll be dead in the ground before I recognize the British King's English. I mean, I'll admit that. I mean, we can all agree on that. Unless you're some weird Brit-bonging fucking weird British fuck. Then, if so, then fuck you. I'm an American, I'm still gonna fucking, you know, spit roast your ass. Yeah, it ain't 76 no more, but you know what? I still got the spirit like it is, so. Shit in the bin. Are you sitting in the bin? Well, look at you, sitting in the bin. You sitting there with a little motto there, sitting in the bin. Oh my god, sitting in the bin, dude. We just had Vosh just, like, looking off into distance here, like he has a 1,000-yard stare. I mean, I think, you know, we should probably look at this video before we kind of forget that this was, you know, a thing we were going to look at. I can't understand a Brit. I can. I mean, I've actually met Brits, you know, in Iceland and also here in the PNW. Like, there's been a few times where I've met them before. Because, you know, some of them will, you know, as tourists, you know, visit here in Portland and shit. Like, I met them before, so... I can understand British English, but... Is it proper English? No. But I'll at least give them a pass if I'm talking to one-on-one, you know, with somebody. What is this? Cookie. It's a cookie. Oh dear, I'm afraid that's incorrect. Gets vaulted. No, what's it called? It's a cookie. No way in hell I'd ever call this a biscuit. It is properly a biscuit, I say. It be properly a biscuit. I tell you what. Video now. We're devolving away from the Brits.
Commentary. We love our comment.
God damn it! I had this turned on earlier and it turned off again because we were not playing it yet. Son of a bitch! Fosh keeps ear raping everybody. I'm sorry. He keeps doing that.
We do a bit of cultural commentary. We love our commentary on culture here, don't we, folks? I do, at least.
Yes, we do.
It kind of blew up. Maybe some of you have.
It blew up.
Probably have. Your standard...
It was because of... It was because of them. It was because of those assholes. Those fucking terrorist pieces of shit. Those bastards.
This is what they call a tweet, folks. It's knowledge like that that makes me a top-of-the-line industry professional. Anyway, they're just talking about this bullshit on TikTok. Look at this. When the cashier at Trader Joe's tries to start a conversation. Now, you can tell from the apprehensive expression on this elf.
This elf. I mean, like, the fact that he's just like, oh my god, Trev. It's like, fuck you, dude. It's like the idea, like, I mean, it's a good thing. Like, it should be okay, you know, it's like, hey, sometimes you want to start conversation because it might make our day if you actually entertain the fact that we're a human being, you son of a bitch.
That, you know, they don't like it when the cashier at Trader Joe's tries to start a conversation.
I just want my stuff and leave. I mean, when I go to a store, so do I, but I'm not afraid of having a, you know, friendly, quick little small talk conversation with, you know, the employee. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing. Sometimes I might, you know, not be in the mood. I don't do it all the time, but every now and then, be like, hey, how's your day going? Right on. And it's like, you know, got a weekend coming up pretty soon? Oh, you just had a weekend? Cool, cool. Right on. You didn't do anything fun on the weekend? Nice. Cool. All right, well, you know, hey, I'll probably see you next time and stuff like that. Have a good one. You know, it's like, I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with, like, a, you know, quick little, basic little small talk. I mean, that's okay. I mean, it's, like I said, sometimes I'm not in the mood for shit like that. I mean, but having it every now and then, sometimes is okay. I mean, hell, I mean, it might even make my mood a little better. I thought the reverse of this usually applies, like employees don't, like customers who take up their time. I mean, usually it is kind of the opposite, yeah. I mean, yeah, the reverse of it usually tends to be more true. But I guess in this case, you know, I guess now it's the inverse.
And then you have these comments. No, because when they start... Okay. I know...
Wait, what the hell? No, because when they start asking questions after how are you, I get mad. The other day I got mangoes, am I right? Huh? Right? Like, I want to get in and out, especially after work. Me too. Like, what do you want from me? I don't know. It's literally basic small talk. That's all it is. Like, Jesus Christ. Are people this fucking weirded out by this? Like, have we devolved this much as a species? Like, cause holy fucking shit. Like, how hard is it to be like, hey, how's your day going? Right on. Yeah, my day's doing alright. You know, it's like, got any plans for your weekend? Blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just basic shit. I mean, come on, man. It's like, are people this fucking weirded out by shit like this? I just want to get my stuff going. Look, like I said, that's fine. That's okay. But what's wrong with being like, hey, how's your day going? You got plans for the weekend? Or so, you know, just basic asshole small talk question. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You could do the same fucking thing and have, you know, quick little, like, small talk that lasts literally more than 2 minutes. Like, I mean, but what's... It's like, I mean, seriously, I don't think there's a problem with this. Why are people being, like, you know, all fucking weirded out over the idea of communicating with other human beings? I mean, look, I'm a fucking autistic fuck. Like, I mean, I'm kind of a socially awkward bastard when it comes to conversations sometimes. But even I understand the value of shit like this, and I think it's okay. And I'm willing to entertain it and willing to, like, you know, partake in these, you know, things and shit. Like, I mean, like, come on. I mean, seriously?
That this is an AAVE thing that got picked up by the young ones, but that's all youth trends, okay? I just want to say, I am so tired of seeing statements start with the, like, no because or but why did or anything like that. Like, what do they call that? Is that an incomplete clause?
That's just like Zoomer talk.
A definite article. What's the term for that? There's like a phrase. It's like when you start a sentence halfway through, but then they like bridge it with the like no because or whatever.
It's just literally called Zoomer dialect. I mean, it's just like how Zoomers talk.
What else? Never mind, that's not the point, okay? The point is, a bunch of people don't like the idea of a service worker being talkative with them. And, man, I think that's really, really sad. Vosh, this entire topic is called my entire personality. On the other side of my chat...
Holy fuck, am I actually going to agree with Vosh unequivocally about this?
I'm just going to say customers like this kill themselves. Yeah, there we go. But now we have a correct and decisive opinion on this particular matter. My God, this shit really pisses me off. Like, really, really gets me. There was a thread about this just this day from a guy who has a hobby that I also have that I won't talk about here.
Like, I don't know you, just do your damn job and leave me alone. What if you're a regular at a store and you happen to frequent that store enough to where you see that same worker over and over again? At that point, you kind of know them. I mean, at least as the worker that works at that fucking workplace... But you know them a little bit because of that. Like, do you know how many fucking customers that I know because I've been there for 8 fucking years and I've seen these people over and over again and know what they want and shit? Like, I mean, half the, like, you know, honestly, like a third of the time when I see people come up, I recognize them. I'm like, hey, you want this? Oh, no, I'm going to change it up and do the other thing. Oh, okay, I know what that is. You know, because, like, I've seen these seen these fucking people, like, over and over again. Like, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, you know, you see, you know, eventually you kind of start seeing these people over and over again to the point where you kind of get like a basic rapport with them. I mean, are you close friends with them? No. Like, when it comes to a lot of the customers that I hang out, you know, that I talk with a little bit, you know, when I'm serving them, I'm not like, you know, buddy with them to the point I'm like their best friend or some shit. But I'm acquainted with them. I know them enough, and I'm going to treat them with respect and be friendly and stuff. Because, like, I mean, I've seen them enough times. I've seen them literally over and over again, you know, since I've been there for 8 fucking years, right? So it's like, I mean, they're regulars, and it's like, what the fuck? Really, dog? And I've seen them, you know, enough times to where it's like, hey, you know, like, I mean, if anything, I might even give them a hookup because I've seen them enough times where I'll, like, you know, give them a little extra, a little something, because, like, I'm seeing it enough times. I mean, they're chill. I mean, they're, you know, good for their shit, so whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, like, when it comes to the regulars that I, you know, have and shit, like, it doesn't really matter too much. Retailer worker is different from a cashier. Not really. We have a checkout, you know, just like, you know, cashiers do, and we check people out like them. Our shit isn't really that different. We just serve hot food and, you know, sliced meat sometimes and shit like that, you know. So it's like, I mean, yeah, we got like some extra shit, but it's not really that fundamentally different from a cashier because, you know, every now and then, yeah, we check people out just like they do. Job is to be chatty. If you're a retail worker, you know, a part of a job description is being chatty. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a cashier or a deli worker or otherwise. Like, a part of it is being chatty. Like, I mean, you have to be at least sociable to some extent to be a retail worker, or else you ain't really gonna, like, cut out well unless you want to be, like, a courtesy, you know, stocking shelves or something. My job wasn't being chatty. Well, like, I mean, that's because of the very specific type of job, like I was talking about. Like, you know, when it comes to courtesies or, like, you know, stalkers and shit, they don't necessarily have to, like, you know, be super chatty, but, I mean, you know, at least when it comes to my job, I mean, there's at least, you know, some implicit idea of them being able to, because, you know, especially if they're stocking shelves and shit, they kind of, you know, are implied to know where things might be. So if a customer happens while they're stocking shelves asks, like, hey, where's this, you know, then there's at least some obligation for them to help them out a little bit if they know where that is. Just be like, oh yeah, that's on aisle so and so, you know, look on the middle shelf on the right side, you know, when you walk on, you know, this corner or something. You know, walk around the corner over here and, you know, go to aisle so and so and blah blah blah, and there you go. I mean, it's like, you know, like when you're in retail work, regardless of where the fuck your job position is, unless you're working like night crew where your store might be closed or something, like, I mean, there's going to be some implicit obligation to at least, you know, be somewhat chatty. Like, whether you're a courtesy, whether you're, like, you know, stocking shelves or a cashier or whatever department you might be working in. Like, there's an implicit, you know, idea that, you know, you're going to be talking with people to some extent. What the fuck, bro? God damn. Here, you want a pork bun? Holy shit. Oh my. Oh, hi. Holy fuck, you just came over here so quick. Holy fucking shit. Here, you want a pork bun?
Sitting there staring at me, pawing at his bowl. Yeah. Which is upside down.
Even though he had a bunch of food earlier. Here you go.
No, I didn't eat.
Like I said, you have to talk because deli front cashier doesn't have to chat me up. I don't have a sway to tell us deli workers, cashiers on each department really need to chat. Everyone else is supposed to be hyper focused on their particular talk, particular work. Well, I mean, in my job, it's a little slightly different. I mean, the thing is, like, I mean, if you're a courtesy or, like, a deli worker, I mean, like, obviously you can only work within your parameters. Like, there's a lot of people who be like, hey, can I get some help in the bakery? And because I'm deli and I haven't worked bakery, like, what, like, I don't fucking know anything over there. Like, I don't know what's what and where to do, I mean, I don't know anything over there. So it's like, I mean, like, how in the fuck am I supposed to, like, you know, help you out, right? So it's like, I mean, I could call someone over to maybe help you out and stuff, and maybe they might know, but if not, then you're just kind of SOL until tomorrow, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, there's some people that will, like, show up and be like, can I get some help in this department? And we'll look at us at, like, deli because we're still open, and it's like, we don't know anything over there. Like, I mean, it's like, just because we happen to work at the store doesn't mean we know every tiny little fucking thing in the store. I mean, it's like, shit. I mean, some motherfuckers, man. Can I help you? Baby. Can I help you? Little goof. Come here. Get the fuck up. Yeah. Get up here. Little goof.
Right here, it was relevant to this thread. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it was about this. This is something that sales associates in clothing stores have to deal with a lot. As more people shop online, many are unaccustomed to the high-touch service that once marked retail. Some are even hostile to the idea, so associates have to be careful of who they approach or how. Okay, this is one of those things that, like, I feel like it's one of those things that's so big that it's almost invisible, you know? It's like missing the forest for the trees or not noticing a cloud pass by, okay? The standards that we have or used to have for customer service are wildly different than they used to be. Because if you go back like 200 years or whatever, and you go to like ye old tailor's shop or whatever, the guy who says hello to you is either a dude who's been tailoring for 40 years or the apprentice of that guy. And they really want you to get something. And if you ask them questions, they have all the knowledge in the world on it, right? Like, if you wanted like anything back then, like that was literally the guy to talk to, you know what I mean? But obviously when you go to a clothing store these days, you don't talk to the artisan tailor. When you go to Trader Joe's, you're not talking to like the farmer or a chef or whatever. You know, it's kind of abstracted behind all these layers of customer service, you know? And I think that the main issue with this is that, like, as that gets farther and farther along, we have the modern experience that you get when you shop at like a Ross or a dollar store or a Target or a Walmart or something, or a Walgreens or a CVS or whatever else. And the experience of going to these stores is entering a wasteland, right? Right? Like you enter the...
I mean, it definitely is to an extent. I mean, also, like... Yeah, I mean, kind of, what he's talking about also kind of validates what I was mentioning from earlier, like, you know, like how people come up to me, be like, can I get some help with the bakery or something, or some shit, even though I don't work over there. It's like, you can't really exactly, like, you know, just find, like, you know, some specific specialist, you know, to a certain thing, because, like, that's not exactly how, like, you know, job places are anymore. Like, you know, back in, like, you know, 1896 or some shit, like, yeah, if you go to the tailor, you're getting, like, you know, some specialized artisan tailor, you know, that's gonna, like, be able to, like, you know, specifically be like, yes, here's, like, a perfect fit for you, for the drip for you, good sir. You know, it's like, I mean, so you're gonna get, you know, be able to get, like, you know, something very specialized and shit, right? Like, and get something that's, you know, very pertaining to your needs. But nowadays, it's like a maximization of, like, you know, catering to everyone's needs in the limit, you know, in the, like, degradation of quality, basically. It's like quantity over quantity, or quantity over quality, basically. For my experience, infinitely more, I love not having to interact socially. Well, that's a you problem, isn't it?
Sure. And you have, like, the wealth of the Euphrates stretching before you, like all the shit in the world, and there's like 2 employees who are on duty at that time, and they're just in a corner somewhere trying not to be seen, you know? What happened? You know? I think shit like this contributes massively to people's social decay, social retardation, scientists might say.
Social retardation.
Because it's like, how many social spaces exist where you can be, like, expected to engage with people? You have, like, work and school, but nobody likes work, and managers discourage you from making friends anyway. And school is school, you're young, you know? But when you're an adult, it's like, you would think, if anything, going to, like, the mall or going shopping would be a social moment. And it used to be. It used to be, because before online sales really picked up, right, there was more of an emphasis on brick and mortar shopping, so it was more likely you would buy there, which means that when you shopped there, there was more of an incentive for the customer service to, like, talk to you. I remember back when I was a little kid, like, even going to places like Macy's or whatever, like, not some crazy high-end, you know, like a department store. I remember going with my parents when I needed to get fitted for a suit for, like, I don't know, elementary school graduation or whatever. But, like, the experience of going there back then was way different. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Are there any old heads in chat who completely agree with me? Like, it used to be, if you went into a store, somebody would talk to you. If you went into, like, any store, maybe even, like, before my time, but, like, if you went into, like, a gas station even, or a, like any place at all, somebody in there would talk to you, like a drugstore or whatever, like that. Yeah, hello, and, like, you know, people would engage with you and stuff. And keep in mind, this is not just like a crime thing, because this effect continued into the early 90s, which was when American violent crime was at its highest. So this is not like it's too violent bullshit or anything like that. It's not that, because back then there was still the expectation you know? And nowadays, you can only really get that experience by going into like small, high-end, expensive, like boutiques or whatever. Like you'll go into like a nice clothing store or even like Nordstrom's or whatever. And they'll see you and they'll be like, oh, hello, sir. Because, you know, they want to be nice to you because, you know, everything there is pretty expensive.
Or I guess maybe like a mom and pop shop type of thing, you know, but even then that's not really, you know, too common because, I mean, they might have like a certain demographic they might, you know, want to hear to and shit. I go to store for goods and services, not to make friends. I mean, the whole point is not that, like, who said about making friends, you goof? Like, no one said about making friends at the store. I mean, good lord. I mean, it's not like it's impossible, and it's not like you can't have that, but, like, I mean, that's not the whole idea. The whole idea is just basically being a fucking sociable human being. That's the whole thing that he's talking about. It's like,
Kind of
you know,
down at Harry's. The old guy with gray hair is at Harry's. Harrison Market.
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And it's kitty corner from Safeway.
Yeah. No, okay, now I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, consider him like a friend, but...
But at least acquaintance, basically.
Yeah, a good acquaintance.
Yeah, good acquaintance, yeah. And there's a lot of people that I, you know, have in the same circle. Like at the bar, you know, when it comes to customers I help out at work and stuff and shit. You know, people at the dispensary I go to frequently and stuff. And sometimes they'll be at the bar too. Like, I mean, so... I mean, yeah. I mean, I got a lot of people that are kind of in that, like, you know, broader social circle in my, like, zeitgeist broadly.
Yeah,
like
outer,
good acquaintances that I know and, you know, pretty, circle, you know, pretty decently close with, you know, but not like, you know, super close like a friend, but, you know, like, know them enough to where I can recognize and be like, hey, what's up, bro? You know, type of shit.
Yeah, you usually only see them, like, at the store or whatever, but then you see them, like, on the street or in a different store where they don't work. It's just like, oh, hey, how's it going?
Oh.
Looks like Zucker's a happy dog.
He's a little smoosh.
Dog?
He's a little smoosh ball. Hey, whoa! Hey, careful. Jesus Christ, dog. Oh. Oh. The big front. Oh my goodness. Look at this little face. Look at this. Oh my goodness. My dad's ass again, a little pet.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he needs a little love. He's been getting nothing but loves. Getting spoiled tonight.
There you go, good pups.
He's such a good bar dog. I mean, he gets spoiled and loved by everybody.
He was barking about something earlier.
Yeah, I don't know why. He's a goof. Hey, don't be... Ah! You just look at my nose! Hey! Hey! No.
Cold nose treatment?
He's trying to get the mouth treatment, too. It's like, hell no.
Oh, you're blowing in it?
Ah!
You're blowing in his ear, no wonder.
Goofball. He's such a goof.
He's definitely a unique dog.
Yeah, he's just a little smoosh. A little ridiculous little smoosh ball. Ooh. You grunt and moan so much more than you fucking bark, bro.
What day you need to go to the airport?
That's why we're gonna hang out with my friends. So I mean, because my flight leaves at like 8 or something like that. So I was gonna probably just hang out with my buddies if, you know, to at least, you know, get my dog exchanged with one of them potentially. Yeah, then take the red line over there, because the red line goes straight to the airport.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll finalize, you know, some plans here pretty soon, but that's kind of my broader idea.
Get a ride, but anyhow.
I mean, if all I'm taking is a backpack, I mean, it's not that hard to Yeah, I'll get over there, so. Oh my god, you fucking cocoon. You cocoon.
Well, what day is it anyhow?
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah.
Alright.
You cocoon.
Shit, what day is today?
Saturday. Well, Sunday now.
It's Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Like a week from now.
Hello,
Alright.
baby. Ooh. You're so heavy, dude. How much do you weigh, bro?
It's gonna do something.
You have to weigh at least like 70-something pounds, buddy. Yeah, you. Yeah. How much do you weigh? You look goof. Ugh. 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 1. 2. 3. 4. Let's get one more. And 5. Yeah, I got some reps done with you, buddy. What you gonna do about that? Yeah, I got some reps. Oh, what you gonna do about it? Oh my god, you lazy little bastard. I guess he doesn't care. Dude, his little grunts are so silly, dude. Go on. Oh, okay, no. No. Okay. He almost hit the jewels. Almost. But I saved myself. Fuck. Dude, if you were to hit that shit, that would have just like fucking sent me, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I would have died. Probably. Honestly, the only thing I want to hear from a cashier is, did you find everything you needed? Hey, guess what? That small talk, that implies an ability to start a conversation and be like, oh yeah, I did. Nice. Well, was your day, was the rest of your day okay? And, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was. Cool. You got any plans for the weekend? I mean, there you go. So there you go, buddy. Because if you're really going to be like, well, shut the fuck up, beyond that, then you're a Karen. And you're the problem at that point. And you need to fucking check yourself before you wreck yourself. So, there you go.
That experience is being sort of scaled back. And because people aren't used to it, because people no longer expect it when they go out shopping, they get weirdly hostile to it. And because
like you, Venom.
Hostile to it, now all of a sudden, the customer service people don't want to engage with you, because now if people find it off-putting, it's actually to their detriment to engage with you. Because now it makes it more likely that you'll feel uncomfortable or leave or not want to buy something or whatever. I remember the J.C. Penney's near me that used to have a full-on tailor in the suit section for alterations. Not anymore. That was in the early 2000s. It's just really sad. I feel like it's just one more step in this constant slide that we're doing into total social oblivion, where there are no more social spaces. Even malls that have a lot of people in them are basically just boxes.
Well, absolutely. If they know me too much, that's a you problem. All I hear is, you problems, not, a me problem being a retail worker. Because, yeah, if I'm in a good mood and I want to, have some basic-ass small talk with somebody that means, fuck all, but, is some simple shit that anyone can do, and you're and somehow that is a problem to you, that's a you problem, not me. Because sometimes, I'm not in the mood, but, holy shit, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still gonna fucking do it. I might be a little bit more short, if I'm not in the mood for it, be like, yeah, it's alright. Yeah, cool, yeah, that's pretty right. Yeah, right on. Yeah, after this, I'm gonna go to the bar and stuff like that and wind down after this. Meh. You know, if I'm feeling a little short, it's gonna be like that, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'll still do it, because, I mean, not only is it, at least in some part, a part of my job, but also, like, there's nothing wrong with at least, you know, being a little sociable, and even if you're not really in the mood, just, you know, breaking out of that fucking, you know, barrier and just, like, doing it a little bit. Because, you know what, honestly, at the end of the day, I kind of feel a little better for it. Like, because, you know, honestly, like, my day improves if I happen to talk to someone and, you know, they're pretty chill and, you know, at the end of the day, it makes my day a little better. Being like, hey, you know, it's like, you know, even though my day's a little shitty or something like that, like, I have to close the entire department by myself or something like that, you know, having a customer being like, well, hey, you know, hope your day gets better and hope, you know, karaoke for your success tonight and blah, 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 blah. You know, just some small talk bullshit like that honestly does mean a lot to me, you know what I mean, as a retail worker. Like, I know it might be annoying and this and that, and sometimes you might not be in the mood, but just some basic small little things like that, even if it's a little short and quick to the point, whatever the fuck, like, I mean, because I'll do the same shit. Like, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, it can mean, you know, a little something, something. I mean, it's okay to, you know, have a little small talk here and there. I don't see any problem with it. Like, why is there a problem with it? Is there supposed to be a problem with it? I mean, honestly, like, and if there is, why? And what is it? Because, like, yeah, I get it, you know, you want to get your shit and leave, but you can still, but that doesn't mean you still can't have a little small talk here and there. You can still do that and get your shit and leave. I mean, because in the middle of your transaction while you're waiting to be checked out or waiting for your fucking food or whatever the hell, I mean, that's time in between where a little small talk might happen. So even if you're just trying to grab some shit and leave, I mean, there's still time in between for it, so that's not an excuse. So, I mean, like, either way, it's like, I mean, why, how is it a problem? I mean, seriously, it's like, even if you're a little socially anxious, I mean, you know, the worker might honestly understand that a little bit and might not really ask you that many questions. Be like, hey, how's your day going? Good. Alright, you know, got any plans tonight? Nah, not really. Alright. Grab your shit. Anything else today? Nah, I'm good. Alright, have a good one. I mean, it's like, if someone's being so short to where they're not really wanting some small talk, that's how it'll go. Like, I mean, it's gonna be pretty small and split to, you know, pretty much, you know, quick to the point. Because that's okay, you know. It's like, small talk doesn't have to mean, you know, you're like having, like, you know, some 5-minute conversation with someone. It could just basically, you know, be some tiny little thing of like, oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah, that's all I want. Cool. Yeah, I hope you have a good day. You know, that's small talk just as much as, like, you know, anything else. About chicken nuggets and he fucking spit in it. I'm sure he got fired after he reviewed the security footage to see I was not lying. And give me a warmer answer to try to talk. I'm gonna shut up. So wait, hold on, wait a minute. You had a meltdown about chicken nuggets and he fucking spit in it? Why? I mean, what happened? I mean, there's no, it's not, I mean, not that it's an excuse, you know, to spit in fucking food, but like, what the fuck happened? I feel like there's a lot of fucking details that are missing from that. I mean, you know, I wouldn't fucking, you know, like, you know, allow anyone to, you know, as a worker, you know, spit in food, by the way. But if someone's being a Karen for no fucking reason, I mean, you know, I will do the whole decaf, you know, fucking theory. Didn't have one that had a social meltdown. Well, I mean, one, that isn't exactly cool, but two, it's not, you know, cool for the worker to spit in your fucking food, so fuck them for doing that. But at the same time, like, having a meltdown just again, you're 14, I understand, but, you know, you live and learn, right? And hopefully that worker lived and learned too. Sounded like a live and learn experience for everybody. Hopefully. What are you doing? Little goofball. Never went back to that food land, so I don't know. Well, I mean, considering, you know, what happened, I mean, I don't really necessarily blame you. Anyway, I mean, whatever fucking problem is going on when it comes to, like, you know, food-based, you know, type of, you know, environment, whether it's, like, you know, someone being Karen or whatever the fuck, I mean, at the end of the day, that is no excuse to spit fucking food. If I found out, like, someone in my workplace, in my department was doing that shit, I'd rat them the fuck out. And be like, hey, I found out that this worker has been spitting people's food, apparently, and I think that's unacceptable. You should probably, you know, call them out for that and address them. You know, and if anything, weirdly enough, I probably would get into good graces of management because of that. So, I mean, you know, like, I mean, so if I did find out some shit like that, I'd call that shit out. I mean, look, I've dealt with some motherfuckers where I'm just like, you know, fuck no, that's bullshit. You know, like, you shouldn't be doing that, but it's never to the point where I think, you know, it deserves a firing. I think it's more or less like a one-on-one combo where it's like, hey, you kind of fucked up a little bit. Could you please do better? And usually, you know, they do, because I ain't about trying to rat their ass out. Unless they're fucking, like, you know, like I said, like spitting people's food or some shit like that, that's a whole nother ball game. But just being an asshole or, you know, or neglecting to do certain aspects of their job, that, I mean, whatever. I mean, you could talk with someone like that, and usually, as long as you think get shit worked out, I mean, things are fine. She pulled her lawyer card, and manager was like, okay, you're fired right then in front of us. Mama could definitely pull the Karen when needed. Well, I mean, at least in that situation, it's a justified Karen situation. Regardless of however you were fucking feeling and whatever your thing was, because you're a kid, so whatever. You get that exception. I mean, so I guess at the end of the day, she pulled a justified Karen because if, like, a worker was spitting, you know, your food, then fuck that guy. Like, if they decided to, like, you know, overcook the nuggies to where they were, like, you know, hard as a rock or something like that, I mean, it sucks, but whatever. I mean, I guess it's not ain't the end of the world, but if you're spitting in, you know, in someone's food, you know, fuck you. Like, you know, you deserve to get fired. There. I'm not gonna get fired, but I'm going to fire off a good gnarly piss really quick, so I'll be right back. And we'll keep playing this video, because, I mean, we haven't really played too much of it. Can you stop getting in my way? You cool? Oh my goodness. You crazy goof. Oh my lord, you're crazy. This dog was trying to be a fucking savage, bro. Look at you. Little sassy little bastard.
Social, not even social, full of like kinetic energy where people move around in them, but then you enter a store and it's just a void again. It's just a void where you can buy things. Hey, Lilith. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to like going to a place and people knowing your name? You know, that I feel like that's pretty important. I feel like that's conceptually important. Derek Guy talks about this. Hold on. I've told the story before.
You know, I used to think that was kind of weird, but honestly, I mean, at this point, I kind of like it. I mean, knowing that I go to the karaoke bar and every, you know, Friday or Saturday night that I go down there and people are like, hey, what's up, bro? And, you know, knowing me and I know them, I'm like, hey, you know, fucking get some hugs going, stuff like that. Get a free Jello shot or something, you know, or some shit. I'm just like, hey, you know, I mean, you know, at this point, I like it. You know, the idea of like, you know, kind of be, you know, people kind of know your name a little bit. I like that shit. Especially when it comes to, you know, being at the karaoke bar, Jesus Christ, the karaoke bar. I mean, you know, it's like, I mean, even the bartenders will be like, hey, kill a tiger and shit, because, you know, like, they know I do pretty good, you know, on the karaoke stage and shit, and have a little fun, people know me, so I kind of like that. I mean, you know, it's kind of nice. I mean, it's not like, you know, being like, oh my god, you know, I just worship at people's worship of me, you know, or whatever. But it's just like, it's fun. It's fun to have, you know, kind of people be like, hey, you're that guy, you know, and just like, you know, kind of recognize you because, you know, you're one of the fun vibes of the party, so to speak, sometimes, you know, and it's fun. I like it. Don't gauge me unless you're a bartender and I'm ordering a drink. Otherwise, let me sit in my dark corner menacingly. Nah. At my bar, nah, dude. You're gonna fucking, you know, have a conversation with people sometimes. I mean, dude, I mean, you've seen some of my, you know, streams where I'm at the bar and shit. Like, you see how I interact. I'm not talking with everyone all the fucking time. But, like, the people I do know, I'll hang out with them, chat with them and stuff every now and then. I mean, not all the time, but yeah, every now and then I'll do that. There ain't nothing wrong with it.
100 years or so ago, Brooks Brothers used to have somebody they called the CU customer. CU. This was somebody who came in and asked to see you, a specific sales associate. People had very close relationships with their sales associate. Men introduced their sons to their sales associate when it was time to buy them a suit. Not to get all schmaltzy here or whatever, but like, dude, unironically, return with a V. The idea of having local stores and everything pays well enough. You know, it's all worker-owned or like strong unions or whatever. So like, you go to your local store and the people who work there are paid well, like respected, and you go, it's like, hey, you know, what's up? Like, this is the guy. You know, this is like the local clothing.
The guy.
Store, the local restaurant, even the local like fast food place. Who cares? You go there, you know them, they know you. But everything is so like this now, you know?
Yeah, like what happened to the fucking old days where it's like you went to the diner and it's like the fucking 60-year-old like Mima that's like in the kitchen fucking like making the most slam dankest fucking food you ever had. And like her grandson is helping her, you know, out there, you know, in the kitchen. And it got her, like, yo, her fucking, yo, son and, like, her daughter fucking working, like, you know, the counter or some shit. Like, whatever happened to those places, man? The fucking mom and pop shop place, dude. That's why I love going to the fucking, you know, burrito place that I go to every now and then. Because that's a mom and pop shop right there, dude. Like, I mean, it's like a whole family-ran operation. And, dude, like, when it comes to a family-ran operation, when it comes to, like, a restaurant at least, like, oh, my God, you know you're in for a good treat. Like, you just gotta find what you like and just stick with that shit sometimes. I mean, because that's what I am with, you know, my place. I always go for, you know, one thing, you know, at this point, you know, for the most part. Every now and then I'll change it up occasionally, but I go for one fucking thing, one thing only. And it's like, I'm, you know, like, and they know my shit. Like, when I walk in, like, half the time I'll hear them be like, you know, hearing my, you know, order called out. And I'm like, oh shit. It's like, all right, I guess got my order already going. So it's like, I mean, you know, like there's those family, you know, like mom and pop brand operations are always just like going to be the greatest, like slam dunkiest fucking places you'll ever go to, dude. Like, I mean, you'll find like maybe the rare one that's kind of but I mean, for the most part, that shit is just fire, dude. Constantly, consistently.
You go to a fast food place, you don't talk to anyone there. Were you kidding? And the people behind the register don't want to talk to you because their jobs suck. Their jobs suck and they're treated miserably. And if customers ever act up, you know, management won't back them up. So they don't want to engage.
True.
And you don't really want to engage either because, like, why would you? You know they feel that way too, you know? There are places that are a bit nicer like Trader Joe's because in Trader Joe's, employees go through personality tests before they are hired to make sure that you're kind of like a bubbly, friendly person.
That is true, by the way, because there are Trader Joe's, or at least, you know, what me and my friends like to nickname Trader Jose's. Like, there are a few of them here in Portland, and I've looked up their hiring process, and yes, they do that. They kind of see, you know, if you're, like, someone who's more sociable, you know, as a personality, you know, as at least, you know, a potential qualifier to be hired. And, you know, so it's not like, you know, for me that would be a bad thing inherently, but like it's one of those things where it's like, you know, if you're, you know, more or less, you know, someone that doesn't really want to, like, you know, be super sociable, like, it probably ain't really the place for you. That's discrimination. No, it's not. I mean, whether you personally decide to be sociable or not is not discrimination, dude. Like, it isn't.
You can talk to people and be energetic and nice and stuff. And, you know, I don't know. I kind of like it. I kind of like going to a Trader Joe's. And then when you're at the checkout,
Saying it is. I mean, I would disagree because, like, there are a lot of people that, you know, are very sociable people, and there are a lot of people that aren't, but I mean, if Trader Joe's, you know, wants to, you know, like, hire people that are a little bit more sociable as a way to kind of help with, like, so, you know, like, customer / like, you know, worker based, like, you know, services and stuff like that, I don't really necessarily see that as, like, inherent discrimination necessarily. Discrimination against socially awkward people. There's plenty of people like that, especially in retail work and shit. I mean, I don't necessarily think, you know, that, you know, is inherent discrimination. Like, I'm a socially awkward fuck, but, like, I mean, I still work in retail work, and I probably can still get hired at Trader Joe's if I actually, you know, really, you know, stuck my ass out there to apply there. I mean, there isn't one close enough for me to make it worth my while, but, I mean, there is one within travel distance of me. I mean, if I really wanted to, I mean, I could get hired over there. So it's like, I mean, there are plenty of people who could be, you know, social awkward fucks that can get hired there. I mean, that's why I disagree with the whole idea. It's like, I mean, you know, just because you might be socially awkward, I mean, doesn't inherently mean that you're, like, going to be discriminated against, you know, for being hired there.
Too is paid decently well, and they're like friendly.
Because you fail the personality test, I don't really think that would happen. I honestly don't really think that would be really successful.
And they talk a bit with me. Like, I feel like that's nice. I feel like that might be, like, I don't know, a little fundamental human thing. Just a little bit. Kind of missing out on it. You know? Gosh, I thought this was a city thing for a while, but when I visit my small hometown, even there, everyone pretends not to know each other and keeps their heads down. It's even more unsettling at that small scale. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Like, the concept of that, like, continuing, you know. No, it's like an American culture thing. It is also the case in many other countries, but I really feel like America is speedrunning this specific thing, you know? It's weird.
I mean, honestly, I think that's really what it is. Like, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, that's why I disagree with the idea that, like, you know, Trader Joe's is somehow discriminating because of, like, you know, they want people that might be sociable, because, like, we're, you know, a communal social species. Like, we're a species that, like, you know, relies on, like, you know, some element of sociability. Even people that might be socially awkward or introverted and don't really want sociability that much. That includes you, Venom. So, like, at a certain point, like, even with that, like, I mean, there's at least a certain level of sociability that, you know, humans across the board desire. Whether some people desire it way more than others, I mean, that's dependent on the individual. But at the end of the day, we're a, you know, communal social species. Like, so, you know, like, the idea that, like, oh, yeah, I mean, like, a company or, you know, or some people might, you know, look at, you know, some people like, hey, we would, you know, prefer people that might be a little bit more sociable, so to speak, you know, because that might help with, like, customer, you know, company relations or some shit. That isn't inherent discrimination, because it's just like, you know, it's like, because their tactic is basically, you know, when it comes to consumerism, at least on this element, is basically like maximizing the idea of, you know, trying to, you know, like, you know, maximize the sociability of people. I mean, that's kind of what they're trying to do, you know, for the most part. It's, you know, like, you know, try to, like, kind of tap into the sociability of people. I mean, that's essentially just what's going on there. And yeah, there's a lot of people that aren't super sociable, but I mean, that doesn't inherently mean that there's like some discrimination against that. Against Americans with disabilities, so the lawsuit has some merit to serve her as law expert. I mean, look, I mean, I'm not trying to, like, you know, undermine it, but I just disagree with the idea. Hey, buddy. Because, I mean, I just don't think it is.
Like a lot of places have less employees, so the ones that are there are busier. Yes, in order for this to work,
I mean, because honestly, like, if that's the idea, then what, like, you know, what about, like, you know, mom and pop, you know, shop that, you know, looks at someone that, like, hey, we want someone that's sociable, and, you know, might look at someone that might be kind of socially awkward, but would be really good at, like, you know, doing cooking or, you know, other, you know, aspects of the job and shit that might be needed. You know, but, like, refuse, you know, to hire someone. Like, I mean, you know, like, the idea, like, because honestly, if, like, the idea that, like, being sociable is, you know, is, like, you know, an element of discrimination, then I feel like that, like, honestly, there's a shitload of fucking jobs that can easily be, you know, like, sued because, oh, well, I might be socially awkward, so this job didn't hire me because of that. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I just really legitimately think that's kind of silly a little bit. I understand that there are a lot of people that generally might be socially awkward and, you know, need, you know, or want a job, you know, but, you know, some aspects about that job might not necessarily be, you know, their forte, and I do think, you know, there should be at least, you know, some, you know, elements, you know, to help, like, you know, what's the fucking word for it? Accommodate that. There we go. You know, like, you know, I don't have any problem with, like, a job accommodating for people, if, you know, shit like that. But, like, if it, you know, but at the end of the day, it's like, if there also with those accommodations, if, you know, that, you know, person isn't willing to, like, kind of step up to the plate, so to speak, then like, a little bit to a certain extent, it's on them. Because look, I'm an autistic person. I'm socially awkward as fuck. When I first got hired, I mean, I was kind of on the line and trying to my damnedest to keep my job to an extent because, like, I mean, I was a social awkward fuck. Like, I mean, there's a lot of times where I messed up, not because I was trying to, but because I just, you know, like, because I kind of fell under stress and pressure and shit. But look where I am now. 8 years later, I mean, I could kind of handle shit at this point. But back in the day, like, I mean, fuck no, I couldn't. When I first started that job, I mean, I was a mental fucking wreck, you know, trying to get through shit. And I wasn't sure I was going to be able to keep that fucking job. But hey, look at me now, like I said. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, and like I said, I'm an autistic, social, awkward fuck. I'm not exactly the most sociable person, right? So it's like, me, being someone who has a disability myself, can be able to overcome shit like this. So it's not one of those things where, you know, the disability is inherent, you know, to this whole problem. Like, being sociable is kind of the issue here. And, you know, someone can have a disability and someone can not have a disability and have that as a fucking problem. Okay, so it's, I mean, that's why I think it's, you know, it's kind of silly to, you know, with this idea that it's like discrimination because, like, a company might, you know, seek somebody who's more sociable versus who's somebody who isn't. Because, I mean, seriously, like, what? Like, I mean, if you're, like, you know, in, like, you know, some sort of retail job or, like, you know, a dealership job, like, you know, a company like that, you know, like, and let's say, like, you know, you got like a Honda dealership, like, I mean, are they gonna want somebody who's like, you know, very like, you know, short-ended and not very sociable and not really wanting to talk to people? Of course not. They want someone who's really sociable, very charismatic and shit like that. Is that discrimination? Of course it's not. Because, like, you know, they're trying to, you know, make money, obviously, to a certain extent. I mean, say what you want about car dealerships. I'm just, you know, saying how it is with the brass tacks of how it is now, right? So it's like, I mean, you know, like, they are trying to make money, and obviously, you know, the person making that fucking sale is going to get a commission, and, you know, they don't want someone who's, like, antisocial and shit, you know, to, you know, fucking do that job, because, one, they ain't going to make those commissions, and two, they ain't going to be making them fucking money. They don't want someone like that. I mean, because, like, you know, guess what? There's going to be an element of bias, you know, when it comes to that type of shit. And it's understandable and arguably justified. Like, I mean, if you're like a dealership or, you know, you have a, you know, job where it's like, you know, you make sales off commission and stuff like that for your employees and stuff, you want someone who's sociable. Like, you don't want someone who's, you know, kind of a little awkward and can't really talk with people. I mean, it's, you know, I'm being fucking blunt and honest with it. I mean, it's not like, you know, someone who's awkward and, you know, might be a little rough around the edges can't, you know, get a job like that and, you know, and also be successful. But at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, they're going to have, you know, their, you know, particulars of who they're prioritizing when it comes to that job. I mean, if you really want a job like that, then be persistent and be a fucking, you know, advocate for your fucking own rights as a worker at that point. If you really want a job like that, then fucking push for it and actually work hard to, you know, make sure you get it at that point. At the end of the day, there is a certain level where it does kind of go on you. I'm not saying that there can't be, like, discrimination and shit like that, you know, when it comes to things like this, but, I mean, at the end of the day, there is a certain level where, like, you know, depending on what job you're trying to get, those companies and those, you know, bosses are going to look at a certain, you know, element about who you are, especially when it comes to personality traits, and say, hey, I prefer this person who might be more sociable versus someone who isn't. Again, depends on the job, depends on what it is, depends on, like, you know, the company too, to an extent, but at the end of the day, they look at shit like this. I mean, I don't think that's discrimination. They're just trying to look at who's the most qualifiable for a job. And especially when it comes to retail work or being a, you know, in a dealership type of work or whatever the fuck, like, they're going to look at someone who's more sociable as more qualified for the job versus someone who isn't. That's not, you know, like, a discrimination element. I mean, like I said, there can be, but on the very virtue of that alone, there isn't. Sorry. You want to know why I got my job? Because I fucking, you know, basically was persistent as fuck to get it. And, you know, if anything, you know, it gave me a lot of value and knowledge and, you know, and experience to be able to overcome some of my social awkwardness and some of my autistic fucking sociable quirkiness and shit to an extent. Not completely. I mean, I'm still a social awkward autistic fuck. I mean, I am. But at the end of the day, like, I mean, there's definitely some experience with it that has helped, you know, make me a little better about being sociable to an extent. And I'm glad for it. I'm happy that, you know, that's the case. But at the end of the day, I had to fucking really push for that shit. Probably at least 100 times to Foodland. I had a buddy tell me that after 5 times you get blacklisted and they instantly throw you out your app every time. Because system manager, so I trust them when I talk about hiring process. I don't know what Foodland is, but if that's what they do, then fuck them. That's fucking shitty and ridiculous and gross. Wish we had them. They're pretty good at IMO. Well, from what Venom just said, I mean, when it comes to their rights for workers and their hiring process, I mean, they sound pretty repulsive, so fuck them. I mean, it's like Voodoo Donuts. Like, their donuts are good. but they're union busters, and, you know, they're kind of shitty when it comes to, like, you know, labor and workers' rights and stuff. So, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of resistant to enjoy Voodoo Donuts because of stuff like that. Piggly Wiggly is also in place. I'm pretty sure I got blacklisted from. That shouldn't be a thing. That should be, like, illegal, honestly. The idea of, like, oh, you're blacklisted. Like, unless, like, you were hired there before and there's, like, an overtly egregious thing that you were fired for. I mean, it's like, nah. Like, you shouldn't be blacklisted. That's just bullshit. Voodoo's too much sugar for me. I mean, same here. I can only really enjoy, like, one of their donuts a day. If I have more than one donut, I just start feeling weird. I start getting the sugar high, and it's not good. Walmart automatically blacklisting anyone who quits. I'm not surprised. You know, for being in retail and, you know, for the work that I'm in, you know, I'm just glad that it is union, despite it not being the greatest and shit, to be honest. Wish our union was way more stronger and shit, but, like, honestly, I think a part of it just comes from being too big. Because, at least, you know, I found out at least some part of the reason why, like, our union rep hasn't really been, you know, around lately is because, like, they also represent the Kaiser Permanente workers and shit to an extent, so they've been kind of focused with that, and it's like, oh my god. It's like, I swear, it's like every time, like, you know, shit ain't happening for us, there's always something happening, you know, for some other workers they represent, and it's like, they all just, like, don't pay attention to anyone else, you know, and it's like, fuck. I mean, to a certain extent, when a local union gets a little too big, like, they kind of overreach a little bit. It's like, becomes a problem in that way. I mean, it wouldn't be if they actually had some fucking teeth, but they don't. So, I mean, it kind of becomes an issue. I'm pretty sure Hawaii is better to its workers. Yeah, I'm sure Hawaii is. I mean, Hawaii is a lot more progressive, you know, in comparison to the rest of the United States. Well, I mean, at least one of them. One of the different states. Manager gets like $30 an hour. $30 an hour. That's a little slightly less than what managers make at my store. Like, managers at my store make like $34 something an hour or something like that. Well, journeymen are supposed to be making like, you know, 21 an hour at this point, but most of us don't because the company likes to fucking scalp wages and shit. Because the union's always, you know, fucking focusing on other workplaces and other, you know, struggles and shit, like, they never really focus on our problems, so we're kind of left in dust sometimes. Like, when it comes to new contracts and shit like that, they're right there for us, you know? Like, that's the problem with our local union, to be honest. It's like, when, you know, it comes to new contracts and shit like that, they're right there, but, like, you know, when it comes to when that ain't the case, like, in between, basically, like, they're not really there that often because they're basically doing that for other workplaces and shit like that, so they end up focusing more with that, and it's like, what the fuck? I mean, it's like, shouldn't you be expanding, like, different, you know, reps so there's more of an availability for workplaces and shit that aren't having contract disputes? Managers should not be getting nearly 4 times the average worker. Definitely not. I mean, at our workplace, I mean, they're not making fucking 4 times, you know, the average worker when it comes to, like, managers. Dude! Yo! Buddy! Hey! Oi! Amigo! Hermano! Oi! Oi, hermano! Come here! Hey! Oi! Oi! Hermano! Oi! Dios mío! Al puta! Come here! Oi! Oi! Hey! Shut the fuck up! Oh, puta madre. Shut the fuck up! Get over here! Alejandro! Oi! Diaz fucking me. Oh. Get the fuck over here! Do I have a fucking pork bun? Oh my god, I'm out of pork buns. I guess touching that back. Oh my god, I thought I shut you up. Shut the fuck up. And puta? Fuck. A puta madre. Pendeja tile una milon. Oi! Oi! See? Hey! Oh my god! Shut the fuck up! Dog! Get over here, dude! Bro! What can I distract him with? I have nothing. Shit! Shut the fuck up! You done? Are you done? I swear to God, if you start smacking shit... No. Don't you dare. No. Okay. He's drinking water. Holy fucking goddamn. So you're not the only person who can speak different tongues. Du bist ein Idiot. I mean, you couldn't even say idiot in German, dude. I mean, you spoke broken German. I mean, I could speak broken Spanish, but hey, at least I can fucking do it a little bit. Makes me realize I should have taken Spanish at least in high school and college or something, but I just never did. But hey, never too late to learn. And how am I learning? With music. Honestly, like, music is a really good way to, like, kind of learn other languages. I mean, because when you find, like, a really good song that's in another language and you kind of learn, like, the English lyrics to it, or at least the translation to it, and you kind of, like, get it down to an extent, you kind of at least have a basic foundation of, like, that language a little bit at that point. Like, I know a little bit of German because of Rammstein, and, you know, because of Spanish. I mean, it's because of different, like, punk and ska bands I've listened to over the last couple of years. You know, from, like, Los Malblados to Patreon Rocco, you know, and the Splinters and a few other, you know, bands and shit. So, I mean, there's all sorts of different bands that, you know, are predominantly in Spanish and shit that over time I've kind of starting to kind of getting the idea a little bit, but I need to actually, like, genuinely fucking, like, learn it a little bit. Because I'm sure if I actually kind of, like, took a class or, like, you know, found some app, you know, to learn Spanish with, I'm sure I can actually start getting the hang of it pretty quick. Hello, Estonian Alemán en Alabama. See? I mean, I feel like I'm starting to kind of get the accents a little bit. I mean, it's just... But I'm back on Duolingo. Richard Edo's bad. Okay, well, you know, hey, you know, it's a work in progress, okay? I didn't say I'm fucking, you know, flawless on this shit. I just told you, I'm not really good at it. I mean, when it comes to, like, Germanic, you know, accents and language and shit, like, I'm better at that because I have a, you know, I've kind of have a better understanding of that, you know, for longer, but similar to a Y sound. Picture tortilla. Tortilla. Yellows. Yellows. You might want to give, like, you know, the little, like, pronunciation shit or something, you know, in there, but, like, I think okay, so. Ist scheiße. Nein, ist scheiße. Ach, das ist nicht gut. Nein, nein, nein. Ach, das ist nicht gut. Oh mein Gott. Ach, Venoms. Oh mein Gott. Das ist nicht gut. Ist scheiße. Ist scheiße. Nicht ist scheiße. The fuck you even mean by that? Ist scheiße. Ficken Arschloch. Hi. My God. See, I understand German a little better. See, like, like I said, like, I just kind of proved my point a little bit. Like, I actually understand German, and Germanic language and accents a little better than Spanish. Because I kind of grew up understanding that a little better. Because, like I said, Remstein. Remstein kind of helped me with that. I never took class on it or anything. It was literally on the virtue of Remstein that I kind of learned a little bit of German. So, I mean, I know some shit in German. You can't fucking, dog on me on that. So it's not like I can't learn this shit. I just need to actually, like, genuinely spend some time learning some Spanish, and I'll actually kind of get it a little more. I want to, honestly. I mean, Spanish is a genuinely beautiful language. Same with German. Okay, hold on. Wait, hold up. Spanish for German is amazing. Lamau. Alemán. No conozco. Fucking hell, hold on. Sí, yeah. No comprendo. Yeah. Me no comprendo. No conozco alemán. No conozco alemán. Did I say that right? I mean, it took me a moment, but I think I might have gotten it. See? No? I like we're being multilingual now. I love it. I mean, statistically, even if you're, like, kind of, like, don't really know, like, a full fluent language and shit, I mean, if you can at least, be even somewhat multilingual to a certain degree, I mean, like, statistically, that shows that you're legitimately, like, a lot more of an intelligent person in comparison to someone who's, like, unilingual. So, even if you know, like, a broken variation of a language, like German or Spanish or something, like me, or for example, like, I mean, that does actually show, like, a level of intelligence. Even if, like, you don't know a language, but you can kind of, like, sing a song in a different language verbatim almost, to an extent, or at least, enough, to get it and make a bar go nuts for it. So it's like, I mean, I mean, if you think I'm wrong, I mean, I'm also not. I mean, you can look it up. I mean, there actually are, like, some, research papers about it. I dare you to figure out my broken Latin. I don't know Latin. I know, like, a few phrases in Latin, but it's, like, phrases, which are pretty stereotypical phrases, like carpe diem, like seize the day, right? Like, I mean, I know, like, very stereotypical, like, Latin phrases. Like, I don't really know Latin beyond that. So, don't fucking try to, don't try to make me fucking interpret Latin. You didn't catch it? Oh, wait, for what I was saying earlier? No. Okay, hold on. I need to look at it again. Before no comprendo. No comprendo. No conozco alemán. No conozco alemán. Honestly, I feel like I said it better earlier. Puedo leer español porque pero no lo hablo. Puede que leer español un poco, pero no hablo. Had it right when you whispered it. Oh shit, I had it right when I whispered it? Fuck, I don't even know how I whispered it. Son of a bitch. I'll have to look at it on stream later, I guess. Fuck. I don't even know how I whispered it. God damn it. Doom pattern. Pudici. That's not nonsense. I know, it's Latin, but I don't know what it means. It's Latin for you're sexy. Well, thank you, you ancient Roman. Feminist, Alexandrius, Laticus, Dominus, or some shit. I don't know. Thank you, Legionary of Kaiser. Aw. Little boy just sleeping over there. So cute. He's so cute. This Mr. Seximonius to you. Augustus Seximonius, Leviticus III, Ave Imperator, Unuriate Salutant. Okay, Venom's just like in, back in the days of Rome. Wow. Chat of Latin names. Chat of Latin names. Yeah. See what's going on for news. A little last minute news, for Saturday. There's just literally more top news about the 3 hostages that Israelis, IDF or IOF, depending on how you want to look at it, fucking killed. I like how now there's literally unequivocal evidence that they killed hostages, even though they probably have killed a bunch of them prior to this anyway. It's now we're fucking harping on their ass about killing hostages. It's give me a fucking break, dude. I mean, hopefully this ends up being maybe a turning point, even in U.S. domestic politics about this fucking bullshit, but I really highly doubt it. I guarantee you there's gonna be a fuckload of pieces of shit that are gonna be oh, well, it's just an accident. It's I guarantee you there's gonna be motherfuckers, man. And it's just gonna drive me nuts. Tomorrow's gonna be based. I found an app for redrawing state borders. So I'm gonna make the U.S. extra juicy. Nice. Based, dude. Yo, send me that shit. I wanna fucking play around with that. Send me that. I wanna play around with that. That sounds fun. Did you know if you combine all the states, it's the same size as the USA as a whole? Wait, what? Wait, what is? Did you know if you combine all the states, it's the same size as the USA as a whole? Wait. Huh? Are you talking about the US states? Because no shit. Okay. Huh? Oh, you made me confused. You actually broke my brain. You just kind of broke the brain. It doesn't really work well on mobile. You need a mouse, so I'll slap it on Telegram. Well, I'll probably, I'm going to Texas soon. I'm going to be bringing my laptop to Texas, so I'll play around with it over there. And also, that'll be probably also the final fucking official upgrade of switching my phone over, by the way. I mean, I might actually have fucking time to just, kill time and just let that happen and shit, I wanted to. And just do it already. Ooh, you sent a... You know what? I want to see... how bad is it on mobile? Let me look at this. Let's play around with this. Let's see how well we can play around with it on mobile. What the fuck? Downloading shit. Okay, I'm assuming that's data. Wait, whoa, holy crap. I bet your phone will be eaten by a slot jockey searching for nutrients. Also tells you where population is of your new states. Dude, this is kind of cool. It also kind of shows, like, you know, previous, like, election stuff. Like, whoa, if I click this, like, does it show the, yeah, I guess it doesn't really, yeah, I guess you're right. It doesn't really, show, it doesn't really work well on mobile. Yeah. So I want to click this and see what that looks like, but I guess I just want to pop it up. Oh, I clicked something in Montana. Oh, shit. Desiree. Well, that'll be over here. In, Utah. Huh. Can I really not, like, click any of these? Yeah, I guess I can't. What else is here? Advanced metrics. What happens if I click this? I guess nothing. Yeah, it doesn't really work that well on mobile. Yeah, you know, yeah, I'll have to look at it, you know, a little bit later. Looks cool though. Hopefully they have like a mobile version of it. Cause it looks fun. Kind of looks fun to play around with. But obviously, it's desktop friendly. I mean, it's something that you would need desktop for. Like, cause it definitely doesn't want to operate with a mobile thing at all. But hey, kind of dig it. Looks fun. The morons want to name it to Desiree. I mean, that definitely is, like, the idea of, like, the whole, like, Mormon theocratic state is Desiree. I mean, that is the name for it. I really don't think that's going to be a thing unless, like, for some reason there is, like, a fucking fragmentation of the Union and there's, like, a Civil War II electric boogaloo. Like, and even then, I don't really think that would happen. I think they would just, like, consolidate, you know, to one side or the other, or, like, a third side or something. Like, I mean, I don't really think it would be their own thing. I mean, there probably, if there is, there'll probably be, like, Southern Mormons, because they're a lot more hardcore theocratic and, like, you know, conservative with their Mormonism. So I kind of feel like Southern Mormons might, but I mean, I don't really think Northern Utah would. And if it's Northern Utah, they're probably gonna, like, not be down for that. So I don't know. I don't really see that being a thing. And honestly, I just don't even really see, like, you know, the U.S. like fragmenting either. I mean, even if it does, it's gonna be very fucking short-lived. Like, I don't really see it lasting very long. I mean, I suppose it's not like it can't happen, but I don't really think it would. Is this for fragmentation? Is for redrawing state borders? Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, I haven't really played around with it yet, and it's not really friendly on mobile, so I, you know. Honestly, I'd be kind of curious. I mean, the redraw, like, you know, I'd be kind of curious to see what, like, Greater Idaho would look like, you know, with, you know, them wanting to, like, you know, gobble up Oregon a little bit. It look like a big old middle finger. I kind of want to see what that would look like. I mean, it seems fun, and that's what I said. I mean, all in all, it seems kind of fun. I'm just kind of mentioning the whole fragmentation thing just because, like, it just kind of popped in my mind. I don't want more nation states around me. Well, me neither. I don't want that. I don't really think anyone wants that besides, like, hardcore extremist fucking weirdos. And look, I'm a far lefty fucking radical dude, but I don't want it, okay? Like, I don't want that shit. I mean, so... I mean, honestly, I feel like, you know, like, the far right are more likely, you know, to be more keen on that more than the left, but that's just me. Or more like, kind of like, hey, you know, some of these motherfuckers kind of are egging this on, you know, I don't know, I kind of want to be prepared just in case they try to do that. I mean, I feel like most of the left is kind of like on that metric, you know, more than anything, because that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I don't want it, but if these motherfuckers want to egg it on, then at least rather be safe than sorry, I guess. You know, but I still don't want it. I mean, it just sounds like a fucking disaster. It sounds awful and horrible, and I don't want it. Why are there 2 Dakotas and 2 Carolinas? Yeah, yeah, for the Dakotas, I mean, yeah, like, that especially. Like, they used to be one whole big territory. I mean, it makes sense to just, like, make it one big state. Entire states like Rhode Island, Delaware. I mean, I guess the reason is because they are, like, you know, the original, like, colony states, I guess. But, Rhode Island, honestly, really shouldn't be a state. So, like, I mean, it's so tiny. It's, like, I mean, why is it even a thing? Like, I mean, it's so small. It's like, it should just literally be, you know, a part of, like, New Jersey or something. I mean, hold on. You know what? Where the fuck is it? I'm pulling up Google Maps. Where the fuck is it? Where the fuck are you in comparison to the other states? Yeah, oh yeah. Where the fuck are you? We'll zoom all the way out there. What? Let's even pull the screen. Let's enjoy this escapade. I like how there's just like a bunch of amorphous blobs right there. Crossing the ocean over here. So this is Rhode Island, right? Let's just click it so we can kind of see its borders, right? Okay. And fuck you! Get out of here. Okay. Now! I want to see your outline again. It doesn't want to outline it. Alright, well, whatever. Alright, we kind of see it. It should literally be, like, morphed with fucking goddamn... What's the state? Connecticut? It should just morph with Connecticut. Just be a part of Connecticut. And make Providence a part of fucking Massachusetts, and there you go. Make everything else Connecticut. You know what? Actually, better yet. Make this shit right here. Make Newport. Make this shit right here fucking Massachusetts. All this stuff right here. And just make fucking Providence and all this stuff over here fucking Connecticut. There you go. Boom. So Massachusetts and fucking Connecticut get a little bigger. Rhode Island don't need to be a thing because it's just dumb. Don't need to be a thing. And there you go. Boom. I thought it was like next to New Jersey, but I guess it ain't. Because I was going to say just morph it with Jersey, but... yeah, just morph it with Connecticut. And a little bit of Massachusetts. There you go. Boom. I love how, like, Rhode Island is basically just Providence and Newport. That's basically just all of Rhode Island, and beyond that, it's just, like, this empty space. It's like, I mean, why? Why is this a state? And then you go over here, and you got, like, bumblefuck goddamn Dakotas, you know, just, like, doing their weird dumbass thing, you know, just being 2 separate states, even though there should be just one. I mean, it's like, for real. Like, what the hell's this? What's this? I mean, seriously. Just make it one thing. Dude, even the fucking goddamn, like, you know, Fairly Odd Parents, you know, fucking did this shit. Where it's like Timmy Turner, you know, was able to, like, you know, have, like, 8 wishes on his own, you know, like, you know, whenever he wanted, you know, or some shit, like, you know, as a voucher or whatever the fuck. And he was just like, yo, you know what, there's actually 49, you know, stars on the flag. And he kind of wished it in his mind, and it, like, out of nowhere, it just was. So it's like, I mean, just let it be. I mean, it's like, come on. It's just dumb. Then you got these goddamn Carolinas. I mean, you know, the Virginias too. You know what, I actually understand this a little bit, because West Virginia, you know, kind of segregated away from fucking Virginia, because Virginia was like a Confederate state, and West Virginia was like, hell nah, fam. So, I mean, I kind of respect it a little bit, so, I mean, I'm willing to give a pass on that. Plus, Battle of Bear Mountain happened to West Virginia. I mean, West Virginia's got like a hardcore labor, you know, history and shit. Like, I mean, I'm willing to give a pass on that. But he's got the Carolinas, though. What's going on here? So come on, you could be morphed into like a major, like, super state. look at this. Like, it could easily be, like, one just big old state. Actually, I mean, if we were to combine those two Carolinas, let's look at... I mean, yeah, it definitely wouldn't be big. It would definitely be at least as big as... Be as big as Wyoming, for sure. Give or take. They used to tell me West Virginia was full of dicks, don't trust outsiders. I kind of feel like that's most of the fucking South. I mean, I'm sure West Virginia is like that too. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna disagree with that, but I kind of feel like that's like the South just overall. West Virginia also is included in that. Ignore be ignoring. Well, oh my god! More reach and ditch it. I'm anti-traditionalist if you haven't noticed. I think lots of practices should be modernized over time. True! I just want to accidentally give the South extra power. If anything, I want to shrink the power in the South more. Well, true. They carved out extra states to balance out the free and slave states. Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, there is, like, a history to it, for sure. Especially when it comes to, like, the West Coast states and shit. You know, when it comes to, like, you know, moving west and stuff. Whether it's, like, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, you know, whatever the fuck. Dad used to tell you about West Virginia. Oh, I remember that. That's why Texas was to cut up to avoid giving extra slave state votes. Well, that, and also Texas has, like, a history of its own independence, too. Like, there was the Republic of Texas for a while. I think it lasted longer than the Confederacy. Not by long, but it did. I think it lasted a little over a decade, like 11 years or something like that. So, it's like, I mean... Like, Texas is weird because... Oh my god, I can't believe I'm gonna be there in, like, a fucking week. Holy shit. Either way, whatever. But, like... Oh my god, holy fuck, I'm gonna be there next Saturday. Like, when it comes to, like, you know, Texas's, like, history and culture, I mean, they're kind of weird and kind of, like, you know, unique in comparison to the rest of America, where they have, like, this weird extra, like... I don't want to say libertarian streak, but kind of like nationalistic streak, but not for America, but for Texas. Because, like, they hold up this whole idea that they used to be an independent state and a sovereign state as, like, its own nation so hard, even though it barely lasted fucking 2 decades. I mean, honestly, you know what? Let me double check. How long did the fucking Republic of Texas last? Because I don't... It had to at least be, like, you know, 11 years or something. I think it was at least 11 years, so I'm pretty sure it might have been even less. Let's see. Let me double check. Hey. Don't be... There we go. Republic... No. There we go. Republic... Oh my fucking god, this fucking goddamn shit does not want to cooperate. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, so it wasn't 11 years, it was 10 years. March 2nd, 1836 to February 19th, 1846. So, you know, pretty much about 10 years. Well, actually, slightly less than 10 years. But pretty much about 10 years. I thought it was about 11 years, but no, 10 years. Pretty much. But yeah, just because they had like a decade of being an independent state, they were, you know, like, there's like, to this day, like, you know, this weird, like, nationalistic, like, yeah, we're Texas. It's a weird fucking, like, mentality that just doesn't leave, and it's just really annoying. I mean, they got, like, a weird fucking pride, you know, over it, and honestly, I think that's kind of a detriment, because, like, their state gets so fucked over stupid bullshit. Like, the fact their energy grid isn't attached to the rest of the United States, and the fact that, like, when they get, you know, snowed over, like, you know, pretty much, like, a fat chunk of the population dies, you know, and, like, no one's prepared for it. I mean, it's just like, there's so many fucking problems with that state. I should do some research about, like, what's wrong with the state and being like, you know, what do you think, you know, should be addressed and blah, blah, blah. You know, like, I really should, dude. I should do some research about what's fucked with that state and just, like, you know, if politics get brought up, be like, well, your state sucks. Here's why. Because it does. Like, I swear to God, like, that Dallas-Fort Worth airport, like, I was there in, like, when was it? Like, 2017. It was for my cousin's wedding. And then I went there again in, like, 2019. I swear to God, that airport was still under, like, it was still being constructed for improvements and shit. Like, it barely anything happened. Like, I swear, they got, like, a tiny little chunk of it done, and that was, like, it. And everything else that I still saw that was under construction was literally basically the same. And it's like, how slow do things get constructed and improved and shit around here? Like, holy fuck. It took less than a fucking week for the road here to be done and improved and paved over and shit. And it's taking these motherfuckers over here, like, multiple years to get, like, a tiny chunk done? It's like, holy fuck. This state is a shithole. It's like, oh my God. I've even mentioned that when I was there last time, and they were like, yeah, because there's a lot of bureaucracy and holdups and blah, 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 and I'm just like, well, there's a lot of bureaucracy in Oregon, but holy fuck, it ain't this bad. Like, holy shit. Like, at least we can get some shit done every now and then. Like, goddamn. It makes our state look like a utopia. I can't wait to fucking flex that shit, dude. I do, you know, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't wait for politics to get brought up, because, dude, I got so much shit to flex at them when it comes to being up here. It's just gonna make their state look like a fucking embarrassment, man. Because it is. Like, Texas is a fucking embarrassment to this fucking country. I mean, the only reason why it ain't the biggest embarrassment is because Florida exists. Because Ron DeSantis exists. Like, if it wasn't for, you know, him and Florida, like, I mean, they would literally be the biggest embarrassment in the fucking union, dude. Like, seriously, the biggest embarrassment in this fucking country. Like, ugh. God, what a fucking shithole state, man. You know, I guess it is debatable because you have Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi. I mean, you got all these other shithole Bible Belt states. I mean, I guess it is debatable, but, I mean, Texas is so fucking huge. I mean, I think, you know, just on the sheer size of it, I mean, I think it kind of, like, beats everyone else overall. But it got the egregious, horrible, abhorrent existence that is Florida. So, I mean, that's what I mean. Like, it's basically, it's literally a competition between Florida and fucking Texas of who's the biggest embarrassment of a fucking state. I mean, all the other states are practically fucking irrelevant. I'm gonna be spending New Year's in Louisiana. I think I'm gonna be in shitter state. At least it ain't Texas. You know what? If you can help it, go to New Orleans. And go check out, like, the French district or something. The French Quarter, or whatever the fuck it's called. I mean, if you can help it, if you're gonna spend New Year's in Louisiana, try to see if you can make a pit stop in New Orleans. Have a little fun out there in the French Quarter or something. Make sure you give a government ID to look at the hub. Well, go to the French Quarter. You won't be needing the hub at that point. Get enough drinks in you, and I'm sure you can find someone. I mean, it's just like, come on. We're going to be in Shreveport, which is 300 miles away from New Orleans. Shreveport, Louisiana. Oh, dude, you know, okay, you know what? It's same premise applies. Which borders Texas. You know what? That's okay. Because guess what? Like, you know, same premise applies. I mean, there's going to be partying. There's going to be people out there out and about having some fun. Get a drink or two in you and go out and about, you know, and have a little fun. Guarantee you're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be Gucci. I'm gonna see about trying to see a band that I saw at the Volume block party earlier this year at Portland, 1876, because they're gonna be playing at the Twilight at New Year's. So I'm gonna see if I could go see them again, because those guys fucking kick ass and shit. And I happened to see them when they were hanging out with the guys with Los Malbalados the last time I saw them with the Slackers and shit, and you know, and at least from what I remember, they're telling me that they're going to be playing there on New Year's and shit. Or at least New Year's Eve. So I'm just like, keeping that in mind, because I want to see them again. Because they kick ass. I'm being in Texas for 4 days. I'm driving for Texas. Dude, I'm going to be in Texas for 5 fucking days, okay? I'm going to be in there longer than your ass is driving through it. Dude, you're going to be fine, okay? I mean, I don't, you know, now that I think about it, I don't know if I'm going to be streaming while I'm out there, but I'll see about making at least like a video or 2 or 3 or something like that. Being like, hey, here's what I'm doing. Hey, here's me shooting guns or something. You know, it's like, I mean, I'll probably make at least a couple of videos or something like that if I can't stream. Because I know last time when I was out there, because I was still streaming on Twitch when I was, like there wasn't really great reception. So I don't know if I'll be able to stream out there, but I'll at least, you know, be able to make a couple videos if I, you know, can. Smoke weed in Texas and stream it. I'm not bringing weed to Texas. Like, I'm going to have a tolerance break while I'm out there. I mean, I might have, like, you know, whatever alcohol my cousins might be drinking, which might be literally like Miller Lite or something. It's like, it might just be some literal piss water, but you know, hey, at least there's gonna be something like that. Good boy. Well, hey, I'm a stoner, but hey, I can have a tolerance break. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that. What, you don't think I'm, you know, shy of a tolerance break? What, you think I'm gonna be in Texas just fucking fiending for the weed? So come on, dude. I mean, I'm going to have some edibles before I go to fucking Vegas, you know, for my, like, 7+ hour layover. But, you know, I'm going to have a little fun, you know? I'm like, be a good, lawful citizen. You make Ted Cruz smile. I promise you, I'm going to be looking up a lot of shit on the hub. Okay? There's going to be a lot of hub searches, you know, to kind of, you know, make up for other vices. So, nah. I have a little bog water just touched my lips. Ew. I didn't think I feel. I don't fucking know. Probably pretty good, I guess. Be crossing no man's land on the way to the promised land. Well, you know, that's the struggle. You have to be like Moses and, you know, have your exodus, you know, to cross into the fucking Holy Land, bro. You're having your Moses exodus trip, dude. While the Pharaoh's fucking chasing your ass through the fucking, you know, muddy ass Red Sea while you part that shit, dude. Go fucking biblical on your ass now, bitch. Go fucking biblical. What are you gonna do about it? Mexico also has ass gun laws. Oregon has ass gun laws. Dude, I bet New Mexico's way better about it than Oregon now. I mean, Oregon is just like shitty with it. They're trying to do that lame ass 10-round mag limit shit. At least they haven't done it yet. I still can't buy that shit, even though it's still technically in fucking limbo. It's like I mean, I'm fucking like, you know, SOL basically. I have to like, you know, fucking find like some third party or go out of state to get that shit. So I'm just like SOL on it. So you're a lucky fuck. Just go to Idaho. Oh yeah, like I have an ability to drive more than a fucking day or two. You know, to go to goddamn Idaho to yeah, like it's that. It's whatever. Like it's that easy. Just manage your finances better, my dude. Are you about to throw that at me? I guess if there's literally only, like, one... You know, I wouldn't even go to Idaho. I'd go to fucking Nevada or some shit, or Utah or whatever the fuck. I mean, like, honestly, I guarantee you I could probably find some motherfuckers in Washington, too. Okay, like, I mean, you know, whatever. Just learn to drive, my dude. Well, guess what? I do. I just haven't, you know, bothered to take the whole fucking license test shit because, well... I'm a working man that barely has any time for myself. I mean, so, you know, there is mostly really that. I was just kind of thinking, which hat should I take for Texas? Should I take this hat? Should I take my Stetson, or should I take this one? Should I just, like, you know, say fucking take my weed hat, or should I take the Stetson? You know, or I could take both. So dude smokes 8 hours a day after work. Yeah, like the fucking DME, like, oh yeah, because yeah, because that shit is open at like fucking 10 at night. Yeah, because DMV is open at that point. Yeah, okay, yeah, Good. Yeah, really? You're really gonna throw that? Like, dude, you know what I work? Bruh, come on. Your time out just happens to be the worst time for free time. I mean, it kind of is, because, like, whenever I happen to be, like, you know, awake, especially considering my schedule, like, DMV is, like, pretty much, like, almost closing up. So it's, like, by the time I get there, you know, it's, like, it won't really be around, like, you know, the adequate time and stuff. I mean, it's just one of those things, you know, where I need to just, like, you know, actually have, like, you know, a preset time for it, obviously, but... I mean, when it comes to just, like, you know, the weekly shit, just take a day off and go do it. Well, that's literally what I'm saying. I mean, obviously, I'm just gonna have to do it, you know, for, like, the beginning of next year or some shit at this point, because I'm gonna be gone for a while. You know, yeah, at least, you know, for, you know, a minute. And of course, then there's gonna be New Year's, and after that, then, kind of smooth sailing at that point. So... Well, smooth sailing in the sense that, you know, I, you know, will have availability. So, that is the objective. On top of a few other objectives. You know, when it comes to, you know, dealing with some shit. Because, I mean, I have a few other things that I've been needing to put on, like, the front burner when it comes to, like, you know, the burners, so to speak. That's one of them. Like, and there's been a few other things, too. I mean, I don't need to get into all of it, but... I mean, there's definitely been a lot of shit that I've been needing to put on the front burner anyway. So, you have to have a New Mexican ID to buy weed? What? Really? So if I went to New Mexico to visit you, I couldn't go to the dispensary to buy weed. I mean, I have a passport, so would that be acceptable? Despite it being... Colorado is the same way. That is stupid. Oregon's kind of chill because, like, we have weed tourism where people will come out of state to visit dispensaries and shit because we don't have shit like that. You just have to have a legal ID. That's it. Think it's federal ID or New Mexican ID. Oh, so I'm okay because I have a... okay. I'll be fine then. Because I have a federal ID. I have a passport. So, yeah, that works. So, you know what? Hey, I'm all good. Fucking loophole, dude. I gotta love loopholes, man. And if they fucking get weird about it, I'll just say, hey, from my understanding, it's either a New Mexican ID or a federal ID, and this is indeed a federal ID. I mean, are you declining a potential customer? Because it's not technically, you know, a New Mexican residence, even though it's a federal ID, which is legal to accept. I mean, I'm not going to be a dick about it, but I'll just, like, kind of question him a little bit. I'll just be like, I mean, you know, seems like it should be fine. I've read up the law about it. I've researched it. You know, and, you know, because I ain't trying to be a dick, you know, but at the same time, you know, hey, I'm a customer. I want to, you know, I want to buy your weed. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, let me buy your weed. I want to compare. I want to see if your bud is as good as our bud. I'm not going to say it's better because our weed is best, but I want to see if it's at least just as good or at least comparable. Yeah, that's right. I fucking, you know, called some fucking shots out there. Oregon got the best weed. What are you going to do about it? What the fuck are you going to do about it? Oregon weed. Delicious. Also some stores specifically for medical people. Well, that's the same thing in Oregon. Yeah, there's some dispensaries that are more or less specifically for medical. I mean, they'll accept recreational people too, but, you know, it's like there are dispensaries that are more predominantly meant for, like, you know, medical patients and shit like that. So that means that the weed that you're getting will be more expensive, but, you know, because of medical discounts and things like that, you know, they'll be a little cheap. But yeah, you know, obviously you would have to have a medical card to take advantage of shit like that. I mean, most dispensaries are like that anyway. Like, I mean, if you have a med card, like, I mean, you're going to get discounts, you know, for shit like that. And your tax exempt too. And, you know, so. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter too much anyway, honestly, because weed is pretty fucking cheap. Like, the last fucking ounce that I bought that I'm still fucking smoking on, you know, from, like, well over a week ago was, like, 35 bucks, 45 bucks or something like that. Like, not that expensive at all. So, I mean, weed is pretty cheap out here. I mean, it's not like the most, like, you know, top shelf fucking shit, but, I mean, at this point, it doesn't even have to be. Like, I mean, even, like, the mid/bottom shelf weed is fire as fuck. I mean, like, that's why I say Oregon weed is the best weed. Like, even bottom shelf shit, you know, gets you hella lit. So, just saying. Plus, it's cheap as shit. You ain't gonna get that in California. You ain't gonna get cheap weed in Cali. You ain't gonna get cheap weed in Colorado. You ain't gonna get cheap weed in those places. But in Oregon, you're gonna get some cheap ass weed. Even with taxes. So, just saying. I can make an ounce last 2 weeks. Oh, fuck it, what the hell? Damn, I can make an ounce last at least, like, 3. I guess it depends on the ounce, and to be fair, yeah, I guess that really isn't too unreasonable, because, I mean, depending on the ounce for me, I can make it last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It depends on the bud, I guess, but for $300 an ounce, that doesn't seem worth it for 2 weeks. $300 for 2 weeks, yeah, that ain't worth it. I can get so many ounces for $300, it's not even funny. Let's see, like, let's just round up, you know, how much, you know, my last ounce cost. So, like, $50, right? So, like, okay, so, like, for 300, so it'd be, like, 100, 200. I could get 6 fucking ounces for about $300 if I wanted to. All I'd have to do is go to 3 different dispensaries to do it. Because legally, someone with, you know, recreationally, you know, can buy 2 ounces legally, you know, at a time at a dispensary a day. A day. So if I really wanted to, I could hella stock up. But $300 is, like, most of my paycheck a week, so fuck that. Should get a med card. I mean, yeah, I probably should, but I kind of want to at least honestly do some research about it when it comes to certain peculiars about that, because I want to see, you know, if a med card would, like, potentially jeopardize certain aspects about, like, you know, maybe like firearm ownership and stuff like that. Because, I mean, I do own firearms, and I don't necessarily want something like that, you know, when it comes to my rights in that sense, you know, to be jeopardized. So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where, like, you know, I kind of, you know, I need to look into it a little bit first, because if it doesn't and has no problem, you know, when it comes to that, then whatever. But if it does, then eh. Smoke is such an asshole. He gets into mischief if I don't pay attention to him. The band do that? Yes. Sukov will do that sometimes. Just beat Miles Morales on the hardest difficulty. The last phase of the final boss fight. She glistened in frozen place. Honorable? No, but I'll take it. Hey, sometimes you gotta take, you know, the offers, you know, and the fucking opportunities when they hit you, dude. You just gotta do that sometimes. Holy shit, it's fucking 5:01 a.m. I just happened to look at a time and glance at it for a second, like, oof. I guess that means I should get this stuff kind of neatly condensed into a nice little bow. Just a little bit. Or a lot of it, probably. Last boss fight, Miles Morales is satisfied because I think the girl was in love with Miles. Camera kept fucking me over, so the game owed me one. I kind of feel that. There are some games where I feel like, you know, the camera will get glitchy, and, you know, sometimes the game kind of owes you one on that a little bit. At least it will, like, straight up, you know, like, at least, this kind of happens mostly for, like, first-person shooters, but, like, when it comes to, like, you know, trying to, like, take out an enemy and stuff, especially if you're, like, aiming down sights or something, like, the crosshairs or, like, the sights themselves don't actually, like, line up with where you're shooting. And I don't mean bullet drop shit. I mean, like, they just are legit unaligned. Like, I mean, because that's actually happened with me sometimes with Fallout. Like, and I think, you know, I think it's meant to be a mechanic, but it's honestly the most stupidest one ever. Where it's like, you know, something happens where it's meant to be kind of like, you know, a shockwave or something. But, like, you basically just like, just kind of like, you know, you're suddenly, like, your aimed down sights is just like, you know, floating everywhere instead of like, you know, everything just kind of like shaking or something. It's just kind of a dumb mechanic. And Fallout, you know, at least, you know, some of the games, you know, like, you know, Fallout, for example, aren't the only ones that do that. There's a lot of games that kind of do shit like that, and it's kind of annoying. I mean, it's not like, you know, Rising Storm or some shit, or like Red Orchestra 2, you know, where, like, you know, it's that kind of like shell shock vibration, like, oh shit, and like, you know, you got that tunnel vision thing going on. It's not like that mechanic where it's actually kind of like an oh shit moment type of thing, and you kind of have to just kind of sit there and be pinned down and stuff. Like, it's, you know, it's like everything is just kind of like chill, but your gun or whatever weapon you have is literally just like going all over the place, and I guess that's supposed to, like, you know, symbolize all that like crazy fucking, you know, shock value thing or whatever. It's again, it's just kind of annoying because they could do it better, you know, or at least, you know, do it in a way like, you know, like I said, with like Red Orchestra 2 or some shit. And if you don't know what I mean, just look up some gameplay of like Rising Storm 2 or like Red Orchestra or something like that. Because if you look up, like, some gameplay of, you know, what I'm talking about, then you'll kind of see what I mean. Because, like, the shell shock value, or, like, you know, when it comes to shit like that, in that game is generally, like, just way better. Just way fucking better. I'll give you a first-person shooter. Hell yeah. Oh, my God, of course. Of course, Venom has to do it. Why am I even entertaining your comments when it comes to... whatever. Okay, well, I guess you can see where my brain is, where I'm just like, immediate reaction, just... Or this, like, that you have to just play a game at the hardest difficulty just to unlock the one beyond that. Just have them all include the story. Yeah, I kind of hate that too. Where, like, in order to, like, get certain things or, like, you know, achieve, like, maybe certain aspects of the game or the story and shit, you have to, like, play on a certain difficulty. That's kind of another little pet peeve. Like, I understand if, like, oh, if you really want, like, you know, really cool, like, you know, gun or some shit like that, or if you want, like, the stats or whatever on the scoreboard. I mean, I get that a little bit, but, I mean, to specifically, like, you know, kind of, like, lock certain shit about, like, the story or, like, you know, certain elements and of, like, you know, development and shit like that, that gets annoying. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, I can understand maybe having, like, an award for, like, you know, beating it on a hard difficulty and shit. I mean, I ain't against that, but, like, I mean, what the fuck? It's like, to kind of, like, you know, limit it, you know, in such a way where you have to do that, I mean, that kind of gets annoying. Last of Us allows you to unlock cheats after beating the game, which I think is okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, games like Red Dead, for example, do that too, even on console. And actually, a lot of those cheats, I mean, you just have to kind of, like, play the game enough, you know, to find them. And I actually really love that. Like, if you have a game that, like, personally, my favorite way of, like, you know, giving cheat codes to players is that you have to kind of find those codes in the game. Like, because I found various different little cheat codes, you know, on Red Dead 2, even on console, you know, when I was playing on Xbox One and shit, where, like, all you have to do is just, you know, like, you know, just play the game a little bit, because sometimes if you're searching, like, some random cabinet or something like that, there'll be, like, some scribbling on there, and that technically would actually be a cheat code. And if you use it, it'll give you, like, God mode, or, like, infinite ammo, or just some random shit like that, you know. And, you know, eventually, you know, after a certain point, people compiled it, and you can find, like, a list of it online now if you really want to, like, you know, skip around the bush, basically. But if you really wanted to, like, you know, dedicate your time, you can actually find those cheat codes on the map and stuff. And I honestly, like, at least, you have Rockstar's, you know, method of, like, you know, giving out cheats, you know, to players. Like, I really like that method, honestly. Where it's like, you just kind of have to be observant, you know, and just play the game a little bit, check out the map, you know, if you're searching something, you know, see if the cabinet might have something scribbled in it or some shit like that. I kind of like that a little more in comparison to just, like, oh, you have it all unlocked for you, like, right at the end of the game. It's like, I mean, to kind of make you be a little observant and kind of make you have to, like, look for it in the game while you're just playing it. I kind of like that, too. I guess a little both, you know, is okay. Like, you know, if you didn't find every single one, you know, then it basically gives you an option to, like, you know, have them dotted on the map or some shit so you can just easily find them or something like that. At least, like, a little middle ground or something. Beat game on hard setting, and then you just go, you can start a new game on even hard difficulty. Why would you? Well, I mean, hey, to challenge yourself. I mean, I'll do that sometimes, but I mean, some games it's just better to kind of play more casually. I don't want to try challenging myself, at least depending on what the game is. Aw, little doggo's just totally asleep. So cute. Oh, well, no. He woke up. Said the heart center should be available right when you get it. Not only after you beat it. Yeah. Wait, so you're saying, like, a game actually locks the hardest difficulty until you beat it? That doesn't even make sense. You would think that would already be a thing. It's like, hey, you want it on the hardest difficulty? Yes. Cool. Here you go. It's like, that's okay. I never heard of that before. Wait, what game is this? Because that is... I've never heard of that before. That's strange. It goes easy, normal, hard. And then you have to beat it to get to very hard. The Spider-Man Insomniatic games. Oh, is it like the new Spider-Man game? Really? That is just honestly strange. You would think that would just already be a thing. Like, I'm also kind of perplexed by that. You would think that would just, like, be, like, if you just want to torture yourself right off the bat, if you want to do it, you know, but I guess not. Alright. Not the new one. The one I'm playing is one of the older ones. Oh, okay. You're playing one of the older ones? That's still, like... That's still such a strange mechanic. I don't even get it. Why would that even be a mechanic? That's confusing to me, honestly. I'm not even gonna try to rationalize that. I guess, like, because if you beat it and, like, you want to try to play it on, like, God mode, basically, where you have to basically fight, like, demigods or something. I don't know. I mean, I really don't understand it. It just seems like a really dumb idea. Spider-Man 2 doesn't even have a new Game Plus yet. They keep saying they're going to add that in, but it keeps getting delayed. Probably because there's still development. I mean, honestly, game developers need to stop announcing when shit is going to be potentially released, because, like, most of the time they usually delay it anyway. So they should just say, hey, this might be released here pretty soon. We're working on it. Cool, when's it going to be released? We'll release it when we do, damn it, shut up. It's like, I mean, they shouldn't even announce it. They should just be like, hey, it's going to be released soon. When we do it. When we release it. When we finally fledge out all the bullshit. Like, cause it keeps people all egged up and ready to go, be like, ooh, it's coming out soon, you know, but it doesn't really give an actual, like, you know, specific date, so it gives you at least developers, you know, wiggle room to at least, you know, keep working and fledge out all the shit that might need to be worked out, instead of having a deadline to work with. Because, like, hey, if they need a little bit more time to work on some shit, then, hey, they got that time, because there's not a specific deadline yet. I mean, I could get it once it's like, you know, you tweak, you know, things around the edges and, like, you got, like, the last month and stuff, and, you know, it's like, alright, we got a release date, you know, we're ready to go with. I mean, you know, okay, cool. But, like, I mean, there needs to be, like, hey, we're about to release this, you know, it's like, then just fucking have, like, either the Vegas fucking timeline for it, like, you know, GTA 6, like, you know, 2025 is when it's going to be released. When? Sometime that year. So, I mean, which likely means it's going to be around this time, you know, in 2025, you know, but nonetheless, I mean, they kept it pretty vague, so there's still a pretty large, you know, time frame for them to work other shit out and finish the game and all that shit, right? So, I mean, it's like, that's kind of how it should be. It's like, just have it very vague as fuck, or if anything, don't even announce a specific time at all, and just say, hey, we're about to, like, release this thing, you know, we'll, you know, announce, like, a very specific deadline once it's almost done, or some shit. I mean, it seems like it shouldn't really be that hard. But, no, we gotta make sure we hit our deadlines and quotas so we can make our money. Even though you make just as much money, you know, like, just releasing it, but actually having it all polished out and actually, like, a very playable fucking game instead of all glitchy and buggy where you're adding a gajillion updates over the next, like, year or two. Trump's gonna tell you, oh my god, don't get into that. You don't know what the fucking future's gonna behold. You know what? With all being said, though, it's just like, I mean, you're gonna fucking last so you can at least, you know, play fucking, you know, GTA 6. We're all gonna survive to play GTA 6 at the very minimum. We're all gonna live to fucking at least, you know, play the campaign in its totality. Damn it. Mark my fucking words on that shit. They're making me load another bowl, damn it. I was meaning that last bowl to be my last bowl, but now here I am. I blame you, Phantom. You want me to go to bed, and here you are, fucking keep me here. You keep me here! Boo! Go to bed now, it's past your bedtime. Says the one that keeps me here. Fucking denying fucking accountability over here. My call told me it's time. Tell you to change your underwear. Mine. What? Okay, whatever. Alright, I'm getting my food. And I'm gonna get some sleep. And all that fun shit. So, yeah. Have fun with whatever weird fantasy you got concocted in your head, Venom. So, peace out. And of course, I'll be back around for the next one. Whenever that may be. So, a toodaloo, buckaroos.